Evening, everybody, and welcome to the end of the practice session for the 2.4, 24 in 2.4 this evening. Just seeing the Donker Walk BRT run Mercedes here, just finishing off their lap at the end of practice here. Runs a little bit wide, that's going to be a track limit violation. Good evening to everybody there. Nice. So yeah, welcome on to that. As you can see, a wonderfully brightly coloured grid that we have tonight. And yeah, it's a good fun one. We are here at Circuit de Catalunya in also known as Barcelona in Spain. For tonight's race. So yes, it will be an interesting one tonight for what we've got. I'm just going to pull up race control. There we go. So yes, good evening. Hello George. Hello Sharwin. Hello Peter. Michael and everybody in chat. Hello Scott. Yeah. I'm assuming that's meant to be evening. You managed to put in B instead of an E, instead of a V. That's a well done. It's an easy one to do. They're next to each other. So yeah, good evening. Hopefully we should have a good one. Like I say, this is a 24-hour race, but it is shrunk down into 2.4 hours. So that will be a good fun one for everybody for tonight, as we are rolling on a 30-minute qualifying session. It is a mass qualifying session tonight, as Bobar in the RVR Ferrari is taking a rather unusual line through the first corner there, first couple of corners. I'm not entirely sure that's how you'll get away with that in the race. Throughout the rest of the session and in the race, following their teammate in Van Niemen in the BMW. We've got a mix of vehicles. We have 3 GT2s. We have a Porsche. GT. No, that's the GT4. I apologise. Race control is being extremely helpful and having all of them the same colour. That's the GT4 in the shape of the Cayman. And then we have 2 Mercedes GT2s out there tonight, as well as the plethora of GT3 machinery that is looking wonderful in its colours. That is a BRT train, if ever there was one. That is a Mercedes from an Aston from something else. I didn't quite see what it was. I think BMW. Yes, it's Fast, Stephen Fast in that BMW, so there we go, there's a BRT train, well and truly. So yeah, good one to start off this weekend, given that we have Le Mans tomorrow, which is obviously a full 24-hour race, rather than a multiplied by 10 event. So yeah, good one to do. We do have some more racing on tomorrow. The Sprint Series is also running tomorrow night, so hopefully find... I believe it's Matt doing commentary for that one, so feel free to go and give him some love for that tomorrow night. As we're just blathering on, waiting for the first of the laps to come through, as you're out on your first flyer. I'm sorry, that is an amazing name and I really have no idea how to pronounce it. This is going to be a good start to the day. And you've immediately gone on a non-legal lap. You are on a legal lap, but it's not going to count. Okay. Still have 1 Mercedes GT3 in the pits. I think just waiting for a bit of space. Going to go for a bit of a later run on that one. We have, just flicking through some of the liveries, they are absolutely lovely. Did sync all the liveries just whilst the driver's briefing was going on. So hopefully, all being well, we'll have everything do apologise. There has been a few issues with Awesome Sim Racing, so if it hasn't synced, we do apologise. It may not be your end that's gone wrong, it may be just a general issue. General issue with Awesome Sim Racing at the moment. We have O'Reilly out there, we have Dejera, Albert in Difon Motorsport in the GT2. John Cork is having an interesting moment down at the hairpin. I'm assuming that was those brakes don't work like a GT3's brakes. The GT2s, they have like no aero and no brakes. They really are like standing on a set of milk bottle tops on that car. As we have the first few flying laps coming through now. Miller in the 16 McLaren has gone faster, the 44.607. That is a dang good time. We were running around here earlier in the week, and I think he managed to get down to a 46.1. So, yeah, seriously quick times, as you'd expect with some of these cars and some of these drivers. They are seriously quick. Davide goes fastest in that Ferrari for VM Tech. Goes 44.3530, so well done there. 0.077 up on second place. Third is Giorgio in the Yellow Submarine Racing Bentley. Is a 44.965. O'Reilly down in fourth now with a 45.275. So a little bit of work to do there. Has just been pipped as Romeo goes into second with a 44.570. So these times are their initial first flyers for everybody that's going through and completing such laps. Morris in the McLaren has unfortunately pulled an illegal lap on that one. Hopefully they'll have enough time to go again. Weinsman in... I'm assuming that's Weinsman looking at that and the German. German? No. Belgian flag? Yes, it's going to be Belgium because you're BRT. I apologise for that one. Is over, is a second up now, goes into sixth at 45.082. Nicely done there. As Giro is into the pits, the Soul GT4 is running out there and is currently on a legal one at the moment, so we'll see how that falls. Hicks in the GT3 Mercedes for American mechanics, nicely done. You're out there, you just have 48.705. 15th Biro is putting 46.424, very nicely done. Fastest first sector from the RVR Bobar in there with a 29.402. You're down in 14th, but you have a hell of a first sector. Oh no, that's just gone to Romeo in a 29.402. It's the other two sectors still belong to Davide in the VM Tech Racing Ferrari. Second sector is 39.902. 34.582 is the final sector. So we'll see how this all pans out. As Van Niemen now goes second in that BMW. Good mix of chassis. We've got various BMWs. We've got three BMWs, a host of GT2 machinery and what have you out there. So how is chat doing? Chat has exploded. I apologise. Hello to everybody. Sean, George, Peter, everybody there. I'm just trying to catch up with that. That's exploded a little bit. I've been concentrating on what's going on in quali because there's some quick times coming in. 2/10 for Bobar in that Ferrari again is chasing leaders now. Mondesi has gone faster, still stays fastest with a 44.017. So making that lap time, as Miller has gone into second with a 44.147. I will get to chat in a second. This is, lap times are falling left, right and centre, so apologies chat, I will be with you shortly. There is some seriously quick times, as the, had to get out of the way there on the entrance to the infield hairpin there, that right-hander. I had a left-hander. Driving here earlier in the week, I can't remember. Yeah, that's probably why we're so slow. Not the easiest of things to drive is a GT4 when you are in amongst a bunch of faster machinery. You almost feel like a rolling roadblock sometimes. Its currently fastest lap is a 58.515, so very good going, goes really deep into the hairpin there. Might not have been the most intentional things to do, unfortunately has lost a whole bunch of time there, and is still up, but not nearly as far as they were. How are we doing? Van Niemann is into third. It is so close at the top. The top 9 cars are basically within a second. We've still got 20 minutes of this. This is going to be good. I mean, the rest of the field is, there is 2 seconds covering the top 16. So, like, any improvement is going to jump you. It's going to jump you a number of places. A couple of tenths is going to jump you 3 or 4 places in this. So, give it everything you've got. There is I believe there is is there a chat? Those that are racing, feel free to correct me on this, but I think there's a limited number of tyres for this one. I know there was for one of them, and I can't remember which one it was. I've commentated on a few, and I really should remember this better. If not, throw tyres at the cars and go for it. Low fuel and throw tyres at them. As Seabrook, their last time by, they went 57.237, so very well done there. The GT2s seem to be struggling quite a bit more at this track than they have done else at the first round. Unfortunately, I wasn't commentating on the last round, so I haven't had a chance to catch up on how they did. But they are 48.5 and 48.9. Sorry, 48.5 and 49.5 respectively for those 2 cars. So may well be focusing a little bit more on race pace than outright qualifying speed with those cars. So just taking a little bit more to race amongst themselves late come race time. How are we doing up there? Not legal, unfortunately. Legal RVR is 3 tenths up in that BMW, so 3 tenths. That is sniffing on a P1. P1. So we'll follow you through. How are you doing? Still around about 3 tenths. Lost a little bit on the exit of the hairpin. A little bit hot on the way in, I think, and then just lost it on the exit. Still 2 tenths or so up. That section there is just... This kind of last sector of the lap is not that great, I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy section of track to mount an attack on. Yeah. It's Barcelona, it is what it is. Does go fastest though, goes 43.952. That is a marker and a half. Takes fastest first sector, but leaves Mondesi with the fastest middle and final sector still. So, gotta be happy with that, but that is only 0.065 faster than the next car. And that puts 10 cars now basically inside a second on that second bubble for the top.
Jason subscribed to the channel.
Thank you, Jason! thank you very much for the subscribe. Yeah, interesting. Highest 12th at the last round. Yeah, I think it depends on the track, and how easy the car is to hook up. The Mercedes isn't. It's an interesting choice. It wouldn't have been personal choice for those. Quite like the KTM, it's very nimble. Similarly, quite like the oddly the Porsche GT2s. They're fun, and like the 935 just looks mental. As we have Wilson, Mr. Luke Wilson, 5 tenths, 6 tenths up. Come on, get in there. You can manage this. You are right on the bubble of the 45s at the moment. Your 45.065 is what you're chasing in that McLaren. If you can pick up a bit of a toe coming out of the last corner, it's not a long run, but it can make a hell of a difference on this circuit, especially mounting an attack in the race down into the first corner, as that looks like the VM Tech Ferrari had a bit of a bailout moment there. 8 tenths up. You are a second back on 1.1 seconds back in 12th. Crosses the line, goes 5th with a 44.277. So very well done there for yourself. 5 tenths up, Mr. Romeo in that Aston Martin. George, you're sharing that one still? I presume with Peter. Yeah, 7 tenths up now, or 6.5 or so, coming up to the line. I mean, 6.5 tenths. Hang on, yes, it is. Goes 0.12 fastest. Doesn't actually claim any fastest sectors, but overall is fastest with a 43.940. No, yes, 39.940 chasing, and Van Niemen now is still in the pits. He's chasing with a 43.952. So, yeah, if you can give it a go, see what happens. As Miller is 0.072 back. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're on nights this week, so you're... oh, crikey, so Peter's doing that on his own. That's not going to be an easy one. Once you get past that couple of hour mark, you start to... It starts to get more and more tricky on how much fatigue, as Remy now managed to go up into 10th with a 44.8 flat. Very well done in that Bentley. That now puts the top 11 top 12 cars now pretty well on that second. I mean, 12 is 1.020 back on the leaders. So, yeah. Well done. How are we doing? There are a few people. There are still lots of people out. There's just a lot of red on the timing screens at the moment, which is either people not on legal laps or not on improvements on their laps at this moment in time. Having said that, Weizmann has just tipped over onto a positive lap. I mean, 2.5 tenths is going to make a heck of a difference. On your position, 3 tenths now coming through this last sector. Lobbing that bent. Ooh, gets a bit of a wiggle on. You are losing time. How are you gonna... No! Got a wiggle on the way out of the very last end of that chicane basically matches that car. Well, its best time of 44.815. Across the line there, unfortunately, is currently down, but we'll go again and see how that works out. Wilson is on another improvement. Mondesi goes fastest, 43.910 in that Ferrari, so very well done. Takes fastest third sector away from...
Phil Sayers subscribed to the channel.
Hello, Phil! Thank you very much for subscribing. Getting a message in my ears. I presume that comes across on stream. Yeah, 34.550 in that last sector for you, so very well done there. And you're still up. You are still up on your previous lap time by almost 2/10. Coming through the middle section of the lap now, dropping down to the bottom of the hill before going back up to the, I want to say hairpin, but it's not, it's kind of longish right-hander. Runs out, stays legal just about. You are flirting with track limits there, well and truly, mate. Still 2/10 up, going down into the hairpin for three and a bit tenths, 3/10 up still. Coming out of there, running up into the long right-hander. It's all this. If this chute was ever so slightly shorter, it would almost turn it into a triple apex corner, but into this final twiddly bit. Got a little bit of GT2 traffic. Stays legal, but loses a huge chunk of time through that last sector. This is going to be another evening of commentators' curse, isn't it? May have improved, but only by a few thousandths on that one. So 43.910 there. Still 0.03, so 300ths faster than Romeo in second. Who else is on an improvement? We're getting a bunch of fresh lap times. Weissman in the BRT car. You are for nearly half a second up coming through this middle sector. Fusey in the Aston Martin for Gran Turismo Racing there is 7/10 up. Also, as is Olsen. Good evening, Mr. Olsen. Is hovering around the 9/10. Fusey now a second up coming through this last corner. Very well done. A second is going to jump you a long way up. Goes across the line, goes 15th from I think was about 20th before. So very well done. With a 45.175. About 1.25 seconds back. That's the gap. You're 1.25 seconds, and you're in 15th. This is so tight. I mean, it's a track that basically everybody knows at this point. It's a track that it's ubiquitous through so many racing games, be it mostly Formula 1 stuff, like everything, it's in every Formula 1 game ever. Pretty much. It's in Gran Turismo, it's in all sorts of different racing games over the years. So it is a bit of a well-known one. Romeo is still out, not on a legal or an improvement. I'm guessing, judging by your lap time, you have ruled out the pits. Any major improvements? Marsh now is not on a legal one. Apologies. Doing very well though. If you can hook that up on a legal one, that'll be a hell of a lap time. As the Albert Didier Dive Bomb Motorsport Mercedes going a bit deep into that one on the downhill, braking into that corner. What was that? Turn 5, turn 6, something like that. That's not gone well. Dobson has joined but hasn't set a lap time at this point in time. That may be a hello Marek, I think that is. I can't. I've seen Barbecue Possum. I've seen you in chat, and I've probably asked this every time. I can never remember which car you're in. Whether you're even racing tonight, but I do know you have raced a few times with us. So yes, good evening. GT2's doing what they're doing. Good luck if you're racing from Man. Car. Bogey Possum car has a time in it. Yeah, it's infuriating when you know you can go faster, but you're just struggling. Ritz. Brian Ritz is on a hell of a lap now, second up coming through this last twiddly little section of the lap in that BMW. Hovering right around that 1.1 second mark. Can you hold it together? 1.3. Almost loses a little bit on the exit, holding pretty much there, almost 1.3 up, 1.2 and a bit. Goes in, across the line, goes into, stays 14th, 45.165. Ritz, I think you swapped drivers, haven't you? I can't remember. I wish I had a list of drivers that was in every single car, and then I could just refer back to who was in what. Because I think that was your personal best on that last lap, was a second improvement, and I got a bit excited for that one. Wilson has gone first, 43.905. Mondesi was a 35. Sorry, Wilson with a 43.905. Mondesi with a 43.910. So these are some insanely quick laps, and Wilson now almost a tenth and a bit as Mondesi goes through to take. That's a hell of a time. This is seriously close at the top with just under 4 minutes to go. So Mondesi's just taken it with a 43.902. Wilson is on a previous best was a 43.905. Yeah, that's 3,000. Oh, pushing too hard, runs it wide at the top of the hill there. Luke. Especially given that Mondesi is chasing and is on an improvement in that Ferrari as well. So absolutely flying. This one is going to come down to the last lap. There are improvements left, right, and centre. Hyundai now is on about a second improvement. I'm guessing you have swapped drivers because that's the Bentley. What's up by 3/10? Come on. Oh, know that feeling. Really know that feeling. Olsen, I don't think Olsen's going to be coming back out. Wilson going back out for another one. Bar is for. I did not know we recruited Bartford to the team. Fair enough. In the EBT 333. Toga Motorsports car. Fair enough, sorry, that caught us well and truly. I was not aware that we had managed to scavenge you there, as Mondesi now is 2/10 or so. It's still about a tenth up. Did not improve on that last lap, so he's still out there pushing to try and extend that gap. 3,000, and then it is 0.038, 0.050, Barely half a tenth. Literally half a tenth covers the top 4 cars. And barely half a tenth. Hundredth and a half back to 5th on that. So 0.065 seconds covers the top 5 cars. As Mondaisy getting caught up here with a couple of outlap cars, or certainly cars on slower laps. Still up, that didn't cost them. Well done to Van Niemen in that BMW there for getting out of the way. Wilson is going to be starting at Flyer soon. Having the Ferrari behind you, God, a lot of air off the sausage curves there. 4/10. Where the heck have you found that? Mondaisy, you've just gone 4/10 faster. That is a hell of a benchmark to set. 43.5 flat is our fastest lap time now. Best of everybody in the second, the middle and last sector. The first sector still belongs to Weissman's in that BRT 777 Aston Martin. So the question is, what can Wilson do? Wilson, I think, has opted to bail and park it after seeing that lap time, knowing they can't get any closer than that. So that has stretched out the front of this field quite impressively. Yeah, that last chicane's horrible. Honestly, probably one of the worst bits of track building in existence is that last twiddly little sector. It's horrible. So we've got a couple of cars still out there. We have Mercedes, Bertalinga in the Mercedes there, running around about 10th up on their last lap. Nope, they got that wrong. A little bit late on the brakes. I'm guessing they had a switch of oversteer and it wasn't going to happen. So they have parked it. Teixeira in that Mercedes GT2 managed to find a bunch of time. If you can hold this out, you're going to gain 7/10 on this lap. 7¼ tenths at the moment is what you are up. Good on the brakes, gets on the throttle nice and cleanly on the way out there. Well done. This is looking very smooth. I hope I don't curse the commentator, because this is a heck of a lap from that car. Goes 8/10 now, 8.5 now up coming into this last sector. This car is not going to like this. It is a big barge of a car to try and navigate through that. It shows is 5/10 up now. Lost a couple of tenths in that last sector, gains about half of it back, goes 6 and a bit tenths up. Stays 21st, but goes 47.755, which extends that gap out to Donkwalk in the other GT2 to a who is on a 48.560. And the sole GT4 that was out there managed a 56.790. Very well done to you. Seabrook out in that one. So, very well done to everybody there. That was qualifying. That was lively. 100% agree. Yeah, it's not the most fun bit of bit of track to try and navigate there. So we'll just flick through the cars and run you through the grid as we are waiting to roll out. So is that VM Tech Racing? I am just going to do that. It is the VM Tech Racing Ferrari in the lead, followed by Wilson in the JP Motorsport McLaren, and in second, Romeo in third, Van Niemen in 4th, Miller in 5th, Marcus in 6th, Sell Weissman's in 7th, 8th is Bobar, O'Reilly in 9th. I wonder if Max managed to make that one. I hope you have. Larza in 10th, Bruno in 11th, Hundi in 12th, Anderson in 13th, Dekawa in 14th, Fass in 15th. That is a whole BRT gaggle down there. Fusey in 16th, Olsen in 17th, Morris in 18th, 19th is Costas, Hicks in 20th, Dejira in 21st, Donkerwalk in 22nd, Seabrook in 23rd, and a very late entry, Darrell in 24th, just about managing to join the server in right at the death there. So it's going to be starting behind those two GT2s and the GT4 there. So a lot of work to do to get past those 3 cars. The GT4 won't be too big of a deal. The GT2s could be interesting. They do throw an interesting vehicle into the mix here, given that they are staggeringly fast in a straight line. If you can get them to handle reasonably well, they are particularly good. They can be particularly good. So, yeah, 2 hours 24 minutes. We are into the last 15 seconds now of countdown before the racing lap. The first 30 minutes, as with any of the Toga endurance races, will be live stewarded, and then it goes to post-race stewarded, not post-race, report-based stewarding after the first 30 minutes. So there will be, hopefully, that does mean there is obviously a potential red flag if required, as everybody is away. Lots of weaving, lots of braking. Track temperature wise, air temperature is 21, track temperature is 24. It does look like the 10 times multiplier is working. So the time it started at about 9 minutes past 6 on the clock there. So they will run into the dark and they'll have a long daylight session afterwards. So they'll drop into the dark fairly quickly, given the time of day they're starting, and then it will go. They will have a long daylight session come the towards the end of this one. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Free canter entry. Maybe. I don't know how to disconnect it from a car. If there's anybody that gets stalled for a while, I can do. Any particular reason for pit entry? But yes, good luck to everybody on their rolling out on this one, coming up across the top of the circuit now. One second, just to clean the glasses up, they are disgusting. Killing potatoes earlier. Oh. Covered in starch. There we go. How are we going? Coming up into the last little twiddly bit, they will be going 2 by 2 very shortly. Say that, they literally just start forming up. on this one, so very nicely done there. All nicely Noah's Ark up through here. We'll see how they go. All looking rather good. That Bentley's very close to the back of that Aston Martin there. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how things go. And we are green. Oh, that was a good start from one of the BRT cars towards the back of the middle of the pack there. Bentley moving out across as well. Wilson gets a cracking start from the front row. Jumps the VM Racing car is being swamped there. I believe that is. It is. Apparently, it is more Davide in the car right now. So got absolutely swamped. Went from first. He's now down into third, having been jumped by Wilson and Van Niemen. There has got Romeo on the tail, but Bertlinger there. Ooh, there was a touch. There was a touch in a bit, and that has put Romeo into the gravel on the outside there, and is falling down the field. That's not what you want as a start. Hey ho, there's plenty of time to charge back up through the grid. Anderson in 10th has battling away now with that Bentley. Dropped back, but has got that place back against Hyundai. Excuse me. Now, as the Aston Martin there in the middle is getting a little bit of company from Ritz as well. Jump to that one. Managed to hold it on the exit of the hairpin and keep that position. De Gera in the De Gera and Doncork both had fantastic starts and jumped right up the field as Doncork is fighting with Olsen. Olsen runs deep into the first bit of that chicane and gives that place back to Doncork there. And these two are going to be fighting. That Merc is going to stomp its way off down the front straight here and give Olsen a heck of a thing to think about. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars compare, and we should just see how much of a gap they've gained on the brakes. That Ferrari really good on the brakes into this corner, should close that gap quite significantly down into through here. It handles pretty well as well, as Romeo is now just recovering, has already cleared the GT4 as Dobson goes past the McLaren, sorry, the Mercedes, but that's all just lit up. As Dekawa, Doncork has dropped back behind Olsen. Didn't entirely see that one happen. Not surprising that it has dropped back through the twiddly bits in the middle of this circuit. As Fusey has now also been overtaken by Romeo on that stomp back up through the field after that first lap spin. Lap times are close at the front. Wilson with a 49.190 versus 49.172 for Van Niemen in that BMW. So does have company. Van Niemen definitely is having more company than Wilson is in the form of Davide in that Ferrari, who is desperately trying to make up positions on the make up for the positions they lost on that start. There, who else? We have a bit of a chain here with Ritz from Hyundai back to Bruno in the that RVR car going deep on the brakes, showing the nose well and truly, but no just enough space given, but that was it, but nothing more, and no move made there. That has dropped both of these cars now off the back of this pack a little bit. That are chasing the. They're chasing the Anderson BRT car. We've got so many BRT cars in this one. I'm just realising how many we have. So, very well done to everybody. We did have the option of a red flag, as Romeo has also now gone past Hicks and is chasing down De Gera in that GT2, and will be doing their best to fly up through this field. Daryl has managed to clear. That is Dobson is, I believe, Tristan Dobson. You're sharing the car with Daryl, and you managed to clear the first, or you managed to clear both the GT2. No, one of the GT2s, but chasing down the other one as Larza now is dropping back, having a battle here with Donkwalk in the GT2 Mercedes. Gets a little bit shuffled out wide, and that lets the McLaren through on the inside. That Mercedes really having to get out of the throttle, moving around something chronic on the way out of that last corner. But we'll see how much. You'll see this gap just close for both of these cars on the GT3. That GT3 though is just going to outbrake them. Ooh, Dobson goes deep on the brakes, almost runs into the back of the Aston Martin there. Checks both the GT2s up into Romeo there in the Aston Martin. So very well done to avoid any contact there, as Romeo just sides up the inside of both those through turn 3 into turn 4. This climbing opening right-hander. Not an easy one to get right. You can a few different lines through there, but it does make for an interesting one there. As Marsh, Olsen. Marsh, you shouldn't be pointing that way around. How did you manage to do that? Also, kudos on the colours on that car. What happened to you? That was... Oh, gets it loose on the curbs, on the brakes, on the curbs, gets the car checked up. The back end gets loose, and that is game over. For that one, fair enough. Very well done for not collecting anybody in the process. Now racing hard with, where are we? With Larza there in the other Aston Martin, trying to make up for the places that have been lost due to that one, as De Gera and Donkwalk are now under fire actually from Fusey now in the Aston Martin, whilst trying to battle each other. Donkwalk has not got an easy job there, trying to attack on the BMW on the other GT2, whilst trying to defend and not leave the door wide open for GT2. Sorry, for the GT3 behind to overtake, as the light is definitely, you're seeing their headlights, those that have got their headlights on, really starting to get long on the ground now. As the daylight closes in, we are 5 to 8 in the evening in game time. It is actually just hit 8 o'clock here, live. Oh, horrible start, long road ahead. It's alright, it's a long enough race, it's 2 hours, 20 minutes, it's all good. You've got, there's time to pull this back. I wouldn't get too disheartened. Give it everything, go for it, and you'll be good. We've got a couple of, the first penalties coming in, 20 seconds car 5 causing a collision with car 991. Which one's car 991? Is that the Fusey Aston Martin? There, for that one, as the first of the penalties come through. Anderson, Anderson, what has happened to you? You are tumbling down the order. Oh, that looked like you had an off. What happened to you? Battling with the Bentley. Oh, on the inside there. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one to hang around the outside of that one. If you can make it work and stay on the inside of this next corner, it's pretty good, but unfortunately that's cost you a big chunk of time. recovering from that one. As Romeo now has cleared Marsh, or will do as soon as, there we go, as soon as we jump out of the replay. There we go, so Romeo on the march, up into 16th now, already from literally being at the back of the grid at the end of lap 1 there, so very well done for recovering. Mondesi and Van Niemen and Wilson are all about half a second or so apart now, as everything. That is a fantastic shot. Looking back up the hill there, to the hills beyond at the grandstand. Whew. There we go. As O'Reilly is battling Weissman's now in the Aston, and the McLaren also has Bobart in the Ferrari behind, just hunting down. If those two start battling too hard, that is going to be a car that's very much in the mix of this battle very, very quickly. Track temperature has fallen now. Air temperature has done as well. Air temperature is down to 19 degrees, as is the track temperature. So it's going to cool off. This is going to be an interesting one as to who has been clever enough with a tyre strategy and tyre pressures to have enough tyre pressure and temperature in the tyres when the temperatures cool off into the night now. That's going to be a big thing that we're going to have to watch out for, is as the temperatures cool, so that means the tyres cool down. And they're going to be pitting, those that can one stop will be pitting somewhere in the middle of the night. Meaning you're going to be pitting basically around the coolest point of the day, and then you'll be racing through to beyond the hottest point in the day, to the end. That's going to be a potentially big temperature change, as O'Reilly is right on the tail of that Aston Martin, just not quite able to make anything happen. Obviously having to be very aware of the Ferrari. It's a little bit of a wiggle on the brakes there, nothing major, as Dekawa is dropping back in that Toga car. That's not really where you want to end up. How have you ended up there? Battling with the Porsche there. Well alongside up the inside, has a good run. Gets on the brakes, trying to get turned in, but there's a Porsche in the way. Just not quite able to get out of the steering on that one to avoid that. It happened. It's racing. Has the light really coming down now. Actually, this being a extended time, it means 1 minute is 6 seconds. So everything is really darkening up very, very quickly. We do a short replay, and yeah, the track conditions have completely changed. As Dekawa now goes past Dobson in that Aston Martin. It looks like they've picked up a bit of damage on the front end of that car. Is there anything that's going to show us the front end of that Aston? A little bit better, it does. Yeah, that was a bit of a punt into the wall on the outside there. It's just glowing exhaust. One of the lovely things about night racing is just all of the stuff you see as we see Fusey into the pits. Warning for car 13, a slight contact with 51. Fusey is... So this is an interesting one. They are opting... they look like they've taken a bit of damage, so I think they must be pitting to try and fix that damage, and then to keep... that gives them an hour, and this will be... it gives them 2 hour and 5 minute stints, which in that car with a full tank shouldn't be a problem to do. I believe that car's got around the 120 litre tank mark, so shouldn't be any issues at all making that car go with only 1 stop to the end of the race. It's going to mean you're going to have to be a bit careful on your tyres, getting them to do an hour and a bit, but should be all good. That looks like a lot of damage. This is a long stop, unfortunately, for them, as Larsa now is dropping back behind Olsen in that Ferrari. Our battle up at the front Mondesi has dropped back a good chunk in this one now as we get well into the dark now. This is fantastic. Just all the lights, all the bright bits of livery that show up, or bits and pieces that just glow on these cars. I'm wondering if that is, have they got all the headlights turned on, or have they picked up damage that means the middle ones aren't working? I'm not sure. That doesn't look like that front of that car is producing enough light. You can see there's that Ferrari, there is two lights in the middle of the nose that should be lit up, but evidently aren't. Now this may be very much something that we're seeing on our end, but is actually showing on their end. But to this end, it doesn't look like they've entirely got all their lights turned on, which may be one of the issues. If anybody from that crew is listening, just get to double check that the button, the little symbol has gone blue. If it's still green, you're on your low level lights, and that this time of day, that's not going to work. So as Van Diemen now right on the back of Wilson, oh, that's not a good place to catch GT4 right in the last chicane. They will drag past, but Wilson really needed to get past that GT4 and stack Van Diemen up behind in that BMW. That BMW's got a hell of a lot of straight line speed, and it's good on its brakes, so this is going to be a tough one to clear on the way down through here. Wilson up the inside, holds that position. Van Diemen got the inside for the next corner. Wilson gets clear, and it is nicely done through the turn 3 there. Very nicely done. A little bit of a switchback from everybody. All get away without contact. And everything is all good there. We have 5 seconds of car triple 3 for an unsafe rejoin. Warning for 991, slight contact with 13. So triple 3 is that Dakawa Aston Martin. Yeah, this battle's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Fantastic. Again, joys of night racing, just sparks, glowing, just everything. Just, there's something almost magical about the way seeing these cars at night just looks fantastic. Honestly, it's a bit of a favourite of ours is night racing. It's just so much fun. And it's a joy to, it's as much of a joy to race as it is to commentate on, because it just looks brilliant. Just looking through the timing sheets, the other RVR car, right on the back of Weissman's now, for 6th and 7th, respectively. Yes, you can see the front of that Ferrari has got its two lights lit up in the middle, and also 2 extras at the bottom, which I don't think Mondesi had lit up on the front of that car. No, you can see the amount of light difference between the 2 cars. And that may very well be something that's contributed to Mondesi dropping back. He's 1.6 back, but he's in sight of the 2 cars in front. Again, if those 2 battle too hard, that gap will come down. As we jump back to this Bobar and Weissman's battle, as everybody's getting stacked up. Hyundai now getting right up behind the of O'Reilly in the McLaren. Both of them, it looked like Finley got a little bit stacked up again with that GT4 traffic through there. That's going to be the story for the race. Now, Bobar going for a dive on Weissman's. Let's jump back to that one. Bobar can't make that one stick. Completely does a damn good job of not making contact anywhere. It's really easy to do in the dark when there's not as much light. You can't quite see. You're very much relying on just knowing where the corners of your car are. As Bobar is hanging that Ferrari out well and truly on the exit of the hairpin at the top of the hill there. Drop down to this bottom corner, bottom hairpin, and they are cleanly through. It's an easy section to defend through here because it's so hard to overtake. You've pretty much got to be alongside going into this to even have a chance, as Van Niemen now properly on the back of Wilson in that McLaren. Oh, this is going to be this isn't going to... I said this wasn't going to go anywhere. Wilson on the outside, can they get cut back? No, Van Niemen's just there. Can't get the car cut back and switch back across in time, and that puts Van Niemen through now into the lead. Excuse me, but that gap now, as these two have fought, that has brought Mondesi into the fray now. With that Ferrari only about half a second back now from Wilson in second. But Wilson having a look now, starting to get in the mirror, well and truly getting in the mirrors of Van Niemen. Fantastic racing, as we see Olsen has appears to have jumped a bunch of places. Very well done. I'm not sure what's happened. Whoa! That was a huge hit. Whoa! Romeo collected. Did not see what happened there. Gonna jump back for a replay on that one. What was that? Okay, this looks like there is somebody with a bunch of lag. That's the Olsen car with a bunch of lag. Which is why that was pinging around on the... Olsen tags Olsen and then come back across the track. Romeo was a sitting duck in that one. Couldn't do anything else. They were off track at the point in which they made contact with the car. That's going to be one for the stewards to have a look at. As we're not even 20 minutes into this race. Oh, when it's not your race, it's not your race. I don't see... Yeah, when it's not your race, it's not your race. I don't see Romeo on the timing screens anymore, unfortunately. That may be some issues there. As I say, I think that have been possibly a little bit of lag from Olsen. I did see that one pinging around on the timing sheets, and we did see it pinging around on screen a little bit in amongst that one. But yeah, Larsa now has done a return to garage and is sat there waiting for that damage, but that's going to be a long stop for that car. Hicks is right on the tail of these GT2s. These GT2s are evidently better in race trim than they are in quali trim. Both of them running 18th and 19th, so have made up a few places on where they started. So very well done there to those two cars. They're about 5.5 seconds apart, so nothing major. But yeah, De Gera in the in 19th is under fire from Hicks in another Mercedes. This time the GT3 Mercedes. How else are we doing on... You see the glowing exhaust, and some of these cars as they go down on the brakes in some of these big braking zones, you'll see bits and pieces of fire and what have you as the cars downshift and automatically blip throttle, etc. Wilson. Okay, this is going to be a race-long battle, isn't it? This is going to be one of who's got the strategy and who's got the fuel and tyres underneath them to survive this one. All three of these cars now covered by about a second, but across all of them. As Hyundai gets past O'Reilly, I'm seeing on my screens. Yes, indeed, that's, I think, resetting from where it was earlier, but these two are still battling away. But yeah, the battle at the front is not going anywhere at all. They're, to some degree, just following and holding station now, not trying anything too exciting. Seeing the inside of the wing on that BMW just glowing. as you see the exhaust exits through that side. We are well into the darkness hours now. We've just ticked under the 2-hour mark of race time to go. So if people were going to do a 2-stop and run 2 longer stops, this is about the time I'd expect people, those that are going to pit, to be pitting there. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, there isn't a mandatory pit stop. It's just basically mandated by the length of the race and the size of your fuel tank and how well you can look after your tyres. As Olsen is right on the tail of Beauvois there. Or was. Not sure what happened there. It was like right on the tail and then is suddenly well out on time. As Mondesi is now right under the rear wing of Wilson. See up the luminous green on that car, lighting up in the dark. Similarly with the RVR car as well. This is the other reason we like brightly coloured liveries. They show up really well in the dark. Ooh, a little bit of contact as Mondesi tries to go around the outside, coming down into this last sector. It was a brave move, didn't quite manage to make it stick. A little bit of contact, runs out wide, but no harm done. Uh, 10 seconds, car 5, causing collision with car 27 as a... Ooh, that's not good. You're already on 20 seconds. You managed to get yourself another 10 seconds. You're up to 30 seconds of... Marsh, sort yourself out. Oh, it's a shame. It happens. This is why in the driver's briefing you're all told to hold your brakes when you have an accident. I'm sure there will be something that will go... I'm sure the stewards will be looking at it and what have you. But yeah, did see that one. Saw it in the background and did a replay of it. It did not look fun. So yeah, sorry about that, Peter. It sucks. It sucks when stuff like that happens. But at the end of the day, at least it's a computer game and nobody's got hurt from it. That would have been a big hit in a car. So yeah. Hopefully see you at the next round. Yeah, Wilson is having to defend quite a fair bit now from Mondesi in that Ferrari. And is about half a second... it's only about half a second back now. Excuse me. Only about half a second back. To the McLaren, as the RVR car now is almost it's around the 2-second mark ahead and has pulled away. So we shall see how this plays out as time goes on throughout this race. As Dobson drops back now behind Dakawa. That's the... Hi, Alex. Oh, yeah, that's that Dakawa car which had an adventure into the wall, hasn't it? Still hasn't pitted to fix the damage. The front of that car is... I mean, there's not a huge amount of aero on the front of that car to get damaged. But because there isn't a lot, it does need what it has got there. So, we'll see. Hanging on for now. First lap was brutal, as well as you coming back to the field. Oh, Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, Alex. It's all good. It happens. You get colds, get bugs, and what have you, and yeah, our voice gets absolutely shredded when we end up with a cold. So I wouldn't panic too much about that. As we see Hyundai and Weissman still trying to occupy the same space as each other. I think that has gone the other way round. Who was it? Oh no, it was O'Reilly. So O'Reilly's been jumped by Hyundai there. Didn't see that happen, but has been jumped. Has jumped O'Reilly and and these two have run away to the tune of about 2.5 seconds. Yeah, first lap already had 12 seconds damage. Car still running, I think. It was racing instant, but heart rate already at 200 and bam. Yeah, that sucks. Feel for you, it's annoying when these things happen. It really does suck. Especially when you do everything you can to try and avoid the incident. But it doesn't work out for you, unfortunately. 10 seconds for that last 8-9 one car, of course including the car 12. So, which one's car 12? Yeah, it's racing. Car 12, car 12, car 12, car 12. I am looking for that one on the timing screens. You weren't car 12, were you? So I'm being entirely blind on the timing screen. Yeah, fair enough. That's what explains why I can't see that number on the timing screen anymore. So, yeah, Lazar is down 4 laps down now. I'm assuming they are probably not going to come back out now from their incident in the pit. It has kind of just started to string out a little bit as we got into this race. We're coming into we're almost half an hour into this race, so the stewards will be moving to report-based stewarding shortly. They'll deal with any of the last incidents within the first half an hour, so there will be things that will come through after that point, but they will have moved over. What were we, 24, so 54, yeah, so they will have gone over to, I think they'll have gone over to report-based stewarding by now. Hey ho. It is what it is. Yes, let's go down. Cheer for David. Indeed, doing very well. Is currently running up in third, having qualified first. Is chasing down Wilson and Van Niemen. Van Niemen has just tracked away a little bit at the front now. That car obviously working very well in these cooler temperatures. I mean, the car was working well to start with. It's really running well now. Track and air temperature are at 15 degrees respect each, so that is particularly cold now. So anybody that's going to have... Ooh, how do you play this? We're just gone midnight in game, so the temperature probably will be getting down to almost down to its lowest temperatures. It will probably might drop another degree or two before it comes back up when the sun comes back up, but it will be at its coldest around about what will it be? It'll be around about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll be at its coldest, and then it will. So we've still got a few hours to go in game before it starts to warm back up. Like I say, it might drop another couple of degrees in that. So we'll see as. Why are they 28? Oh, 28. 28. car 28, car 28. What's car 28? Car 28. No, car 28 doesn't have a penalty. I mean, the penalty system works via contact, so if there was no contact made, feel free to chuck it in a report, or leave it for post-race on that one. Yeah, if there wasn't any contact, then it may not have been picked up as an incident. Like I say, if it's an incident you're not happy with, there is the report incident form in the Discord. It's a Google form. Chuck it, everything in there, and then chuck it at the stewards. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to grab a recording of it and bring it up. Feel free to. I haven't got what lap any of these incidents were on in penalty outcomes, so we shall, by all means, yeah. If it's something that's you feel may have been missed, that's why there is the option to report these things. Feel free to. I don't know any more than that. I'm not sure we saw it on camera, so I don't know where or how. As we see Mondesi and Wilson still desperately trying to occupy the same piece of track. So yeah, this is a battle that's not going to go anywhere for a little while. O'Reilly is now back on the back of Weissman's. Burnby has got ahead of Weissman's and has run away from that one to the tune of 2 and a bit seconds. So very nicely done there. So, 5 seconds past 65. I read he's now got a drive-through. Assuming that is track limits. Yes, that is a thing, and now you're going to have to deal with that. Well done. Unfortunately, that is out of Stewart's control on those ones. They will be issued in-game, so that is speeding in the pit lane for stop-goes, drive-throughs. As we see, that looks like the that white Aston Martin has disconnected by the looks of things now, so that's fine. As O'Reilly runs into the pits to serve that drive-through. It happens. It's all good. Don't let it fluster you too much. Jump back on the gas. Serve it, jump back on the gas, get on with it. And just, if it's a particular corner, then it might just be somewhere you need to just tweak a line ever so slightly, or tweak a little bit of throttle, etc., to make sure that you don't fall foul of that one. It's another track that's surprisingly easy to get pinged for track limits. As we see another of the RVR cars now on the back of Weissman's. So O'Reilly has dropped back down to 14th now in that car after that drive-through. Still haven't seen any pit stops. What are we? We're an hour and 45 to go. We're an hour and 20, 2 hours 20. So it's going to be about an hour and it's going to be around the hour and 10 to go mark. So we've still got about half an hour before the first of the one-stoppers pit. We'll see how this goes. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to one-stop this. There may be people that opt to take... There was an Aston Martin early on. Which one was... That was Fusey, wasn't it, that had the damage early on. And, yeah. So they're back out and running. As Dejira has dropped down to 21st, but Donkerwalk in the GT2, just have a quick class update. Dunkirk has got himself up to 17th after all the shenanigans that have been going on. Just going to have a quick look to see what has... so, yeah, O'Reilly had a run down the pit lane. Seabrook... Tajira had a 41-second run through the pit, had 9 seconds. That looks like a bit of a splash to get to the end of a stint. Unsurprisingly, that Mercedes has the highest top speed through the speed trap out of 278 kilometers an hour. They had that about 40 minutes ago. So they evidently knew they were going to be short on fuel. Daryl has swapped out and has had a 35-second stop, and Fusey had a 52-second stop. So those are the cars that have pitted so far. As Tajira goes past Daryl. Fair enough. GT2 machinery and GT3 machinery having a right good battle with each other down into the bottom, coming down into the infield section of the circuit to the end of Sector 1 and into Sector 2. Honestly, that's not really where I'd have expected that pass to come from, but hey ho. So yeah, Daryl. That looks like Daryl has had a driver swap from there. So they are doing all right. As I say, Dunkirk, 29. That was a good run through the pit lane. 29 seconds. As a run Delta. Line to line there, timing line to timing line in the pit on the limiter, so not doing badly to make it through that. As Coggins, I'm going to go with that. Bruno in the RVR car, that Ferrari. Apologies, I may need a pit stop at some point to grab some more water. Is on the tail of Weissman's now. Has been for a little bit. So is trying a bit of a move there. As the door was left open and bit of a nudge there. Not sure you were completely clear of the front of that Aston when you came across. Nicely done up the inside there. The door was open. Nice and gently slotted the car through there, but Weissman's obviously not entirely happy with that. Gave the back of that Ferrari a little bit of a nibble. Well done for neither of you putting it in the barrier. That would not have been an easy situation. Both cars loaded up quite hard as Coggins goes deep on the exit of the hairpin there at the bottom of the circuit. Climbed back up now before dropping back down. There's quite a lot of elevation change in this track. You didn't realise it, and then you start commentating on it, you realise just how much... You race it, you fly through it in a minute and 40 and change. And... yeah. So Ryan's has got through, and it looks like that's the gap's still about half a second back to Weissman, so Weissman's not giving up on this one at all. Mondesi's hovering around, keeps jumping, bouncing in and out from about a second and a half to about just inside a second on Wilson on the timing screens at the moment. So, not doing badly. Like I say, just hovering around on that time. Doing very well. Like I said, I think it's been a handful of penalties so far this race. Everybody very well behaved. So we're now into just coming up to 2 AM in game. with an hour and 40 to go. So yeah, still about 20 minutes or so before we see pit stops. It's going to be a game of who can do what. Like I said, the track temperature has now dropped down to 14, as has the air temperature. So I said it was going to drop down a little bit further. It's dropped down another degree over this time frame. It'll be interesting to see how much this climbs back up as the sun comes up. Also, just how much that plays into what people can see with the various drivers. As we see Daryl still staying in touch now with this GT2 machinery of the Jira. That Mercedes looks surprisingly stable, remarkably well planted, and remarkably agile for what's quite a big, quite a softly sprung car going through there. So very well done on the setup with that one. As Doncork is up in 17th now in class. Sorry, not in class. Overall, first in class. Kind of haven't really looked at them. They've just been running around. After the start, they've just ended up in their own little bit of space and just been ticking away on the laps. Fastest last lap went to Wilson. Fastest lap overall was Wilson with 44.565. That one still stands. There is an extra point for fastest lap, so that is something to consider. But Van Niemen on the last lap was 45.135, whereas Wilson was 45.490. So that's how that gap's coming out. Even Mondesi was 45.392, so about a tenth or so, just under a tenth faster on that lap as well. Like I say, it's just sort of spread out a little bit. Who else is out there we haven't really seen much of during the race? We'll check in with Dekawa with that still slightly mangled front end, as goes a lap, puts a lap on Daryl there. Anderson has caught up with... Ooh, that Porsche's had a bit of an off. Oof. Even in the dark, I can see how mangled that front of the car is. It's not supposed to look like that. Not sure what's happened, but I wouldn't recommend whatever you did doing it again. So that car's struggling a little bit. Obviously, the fuel's going to really start to burn off, and with aero damage on the front end and fuel burning off in a Porsche, that's not going to be a combination for tyres that are going to like their existence. That car's going to start getting very, very understeery very, very quickly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just see how things pan out, see when people decide to pay it. As I say, we've still got 20 minutes. Still got about 20 minutes before we see any pit stops coming through for anybody. Coming through. Mondesi dropping that gap. Just going to follow this car because it's jumping quite dramatically around. I still haven't turned the lights up. That's genuinely impressive. Like, the amount of light difference between having your lights where they are on low and where everybody else is on running them on high is a significant amount. And it's genuinely impressive that they have opted not so far to turn those up to go from there. As we see Beauvois in the pits now, obviously that damage has ended up being a little too severe for them to carry on in the condition they're currently in. So they will pit and grab whatever they need to in terms of repairs. Yeah, Mondaisy. The gap just starting to tick down a little bit on Wilson. Just starting to consistently hold that inside of a second now, so we'll monitor this and see what's going on. Wilson also holding that gap around the 2.5-ish second mark, so none of these top three are really getting away from each other, but they're not massively closing in on each other. So we shall see how this goes, as it looks like Bavois has come out of the pits, as we see Olsen diving for the pits as well. Was Triple Eight Porsche? Have they actually fixed the front of that car? How long was that stop? 39 seconds. Yeah. They fixed something. They may have fixed suspension damage, but they evidently haven't fixed aero, as Olsen is looking rather splattered at this point in time. Bits of rubber and bugs, etc. Gonna drop down, that's Dekawa gone through. Marsh, still 14 seconds back. Obviously falling, but just pushing this on the screen. Looks like you're going to drop behind Marsh, but probably stay ahead of Donkwalk. There. Donkwalk is about 20 seconds back now. Olsen, it seems Dejira's a lap down on the Cower there. How else are people doing? Hindy's there. Oh no, Donkwalk, Olsen's had evidently got. Oh no, not quite. It must have. How long was your stop? Oh, okay, you had a lot of damage. Fair enough. Out there in the pits for a minute. Got 7.5 seconds to catch on the Donkwalk GT2 Mercedes, and that's going to put you. And you've still got over 30 seconds to catch the next GT3 of Marsh in that pink, orange, and white McLaren. Mondaisy hovering, hovering around second. Van Niemen's last lap by was a 45.6, whereas Wilson's was a 45.3. But then 44.9 to Mondaisy. So that was a big gain from Mondaisy there on that one, as they are clearing Darrell in that backmarker GT3, getting well out of the way there. No time gain, no time lost for either of those two there. The leader is coming up to one of the other GT2, so I'm guessing that is Donkwalk. Yup. No, that's not Donkwalk. That would be Dejira. That's a nice one. As Dejira just dives out the way. Amazing. You could have been slightly less kind of, oh god, get out of the way, but yeah, fair enough. Didn't really notice if there was any issues, as we see Hicks into the pits with that GT3 Mercedes. Where's the GT3 Mercedes? Oh no, Barcelona here. Barcelona is up in fourth with one. That's a car we haven't really spoken about since the start. They've just been sat there clocking away on the laps, well and truly. Just ticking them down, getting through. Bright pink lights all the way down the side of the car there. Lovely. Love to see it. That 6-litre V8 does sound fantastic. Mondesi, right, oh, what is going on here? Mondesi has got the overlap, got a draft out of the toe out the last corner and has got past Wilson. Wonderfully done down into the first corner. Has got that one done and has got that one clear. Has managed to find a bunch of speed in that car. The last few laps, that was 45.965 for Wilson. It was a 45.330 for Mondesi. So that was a big speed difference between those two cars. Carried onto the pit straight, and that has allowed Mondesi to go round the outside into the first corner and get that clear. Now away and clear, well and truly, to the tune of just over half a second now to Wilson in that McLaren. Yeah, was also significantly faster than Van Niemann in the BMW in the lead, who last time by put in a 45.735. So yeah, that's a close one. Also going past Dunkirk now, having come out the pits in that Ferrari, and that's all good. And so that's GT2 on GT3, so that's not one that they need to battle too hard for, but we'll leave and get clear. So this is now Mondesi starting to eat into, both of them are starting to eat into the lead of the RVR car of Van Niemann. That gap is now starting to hover less and less around the 2.5 second mark, and getting closer to the 2 second mark as these laps tick down. Obviously some of that may be traffic induced, some of it may just be outright pace induced. Losing another second in that last time by to Mondesi in that Ferrari. 45.2 versus 45.3. So not a huge gain, but everything is better. Something is better than nothing in terms of gains as the chasing car, as they go past the Decaur Toga racing car. That's a slightly interesting one to see. So used to seeing them in the BRT cars. I've managed to recruit them for this one. Hour and 26 to go. Now, some of these cars that have pitted already are either going to be doing some short stops, some short fast stints in the middle of the race, or will be having to do a splash and dash at the end of the race just to get through. Like I say, some of these cars can do about an hour and just over an hour and 10 without too much trouble, particularly if you can fuel save with these. Getting an hour and 10 out of some of these cars, hour and 10, hour and 15 isn't that big of a deal. Others, it's more tricky. You've either got to do a lot of fuel saving or go really, really fast and have to take the extra pit stop for that one. So I think there's one or two cars that will either be doing a short stint now. I would almost be inclined to take that, given that it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd almost been inclined to take a set of tyres that's going to be that's pressured up for this time of night, so you're not struggling with. Ooh, that's a big wiggle from Mondesi. Woohoo! That was a big slide. Managed to keep hold of it and keep it out of the barrier, but has now dropped. That has let Wilson back through well and truly. and put Wilson well up the road now, to the tune of almost 4 seconds now, on Mondesi. Curse of the commentator, call it what you will. Yeah, as we see Miller and Bertolini, Bertolinga? I'm going to go with that. It's probably wrong, and I do apologise. Oh, from Brazil. That's going to have possibly Spanish origins. Anyway, Miller, yes, on the tail of Bertolini now. So that is Mercedes, a McLaren on Mercedes. That's going to be. How much can place your bets? How much am I going to get these two cars mixed up whilst they're fighting? So Miller in the McLaren and Bertolini in the Mercedes there, giving a Miller not was very, very close. I think just that Mercedes is trimmed out a little bit more for the faster sections of the track, whereas the McLaren is is a little less trimmed out on the aero, so can carry a bit more mid-corner speed. Because that gap, as soon as they got into the corners, that gap started to close very quickly. And has been coming down over the course of this. Mondesi is now two and a bit seconds. So I'm assuming Wilson's had their own problems, because that gap to Van Niemen is now about 4 seconds for that one. As Miller is right on the back of Bertolini there, getting right up under that. You know what we haven't seen is one of these. There we go. That is the view from the rear wing of the Mercedes. I apologise, I won't do that again because I forgot to disconnect my wheel and I have a Logitech one, so it makes all sorts of noises that come back through the steering wheel. As Olsen's bouncing around again, that might be your ping. Just trying to see if I could get the ping back up on my screen, but I can't remember which button it is to do that one. If we do, ooh, hang on, basic. There we go. No, it doesn't look too bad. It's okay. That also gives us a bit more information. Obviously, dry set of tyres for that car. That one times. Oh, we're looking. Also gives us all of the white brakes for everybody. The Merc is down 19 kilos. The Ferrari's up 27. Wow. Well done for hauling that thing around. Here we go. And that gives you a track map of everybody and where they are. So the dark blue blob is the Soul GT4. The two red blobs are the GT2s. That's also how they come up on the timing screen. There we go. 44.9 there for Awesome. Last time by, personal best. Who else is out there and doing anything fun? A couple of non-legal laps for drivers there. Fastest for the GT4 is 55.282. Actually done. Something else. Yeah, Wilson and Van Niemen are pretty much matching times. Mondesi's on the charge a little bit, going a couple of tenths a lap quicker than both Wilson and Mondesi at that last one. And Bertolini there is hovering around. Was about a tenth or so quicker than Miller in that last lap. So that gap hovering or just holding around that 5/10 mark for most of this is pretty stable. Downside being is that McLaren is a very high aero car, chasing a car that punches a really, really big hole in the air. So, whilst it's going to be great and can stay in touch down the straights, following it through the corners is not going to be as much fun, because the front end of that McLaren is not going to want to behave itself or turn in or do what you would like it to do as easily as it would in fresh air. So that's probably where this is holding now. It's just around that half second. You start getting deep into that dirty air off the back of the Mercedes, and it just takes so much air off the front of these cars. I mean, it's the same for Mercedes if it catches up with somebody, is it's going to have that big hole in the air. Like I say, it's going to be great in a straight line, but through the corners, it's going to suck. Lights ablaze on all these cars. All the lights, you see them all around the tops of the windows. I think there's a few of them running lights in their grills and what have you as part of their liveries. I mean, all these cars have to meet a minimal weight. LEDs don't weigh a lot, so having various coloured LEDs in the car makes it easier to spot at night. It also means by changing colours, if you've got two cars with the same livery, two different colours of lights overnight makes life a lot easier to spot and know which one's which. Also, just having a car team that runs the same livery but two different cars. Obviously, that's a lot of work for whoever's making the liveries. Okay, everything looks to still be going. Hello to Twitch! Do very much feel free to comment, etc. And jump in chat. We like talking to you. Where has YouTube gone? YouTube has run away on my screen. Sorry, just adjusting some stuff on my screen. As we see, first of the pit callers, they are Miller from 5th is diving out of that battle, as we also see O'Reilly in for their stop as well. Aaron 16, that's going to start getting tight. These are cars that may need to take fuel right at the very end. Now obviously the first stint will be curtailed ever so slightly from the formation lap and heating the tyres up. That has a tendency to chew through quite a lot of fuel. O'Reilly now comes out in 15th out of that one. Doesn't look like Mac has managed to jump in that car to help out. So yeah, as we see Ritz into the pits as well. I probably shouldn't be as happy about the fact that rhymes. So yeah, yeah, this is Aaron. Yeah, I'd have tried to go a little bit further on the half an hour mark. Track temperature actually starting to come back up now. It's 17 degrees. I'm not sure how that works, but okay. Track temp and air temp both at 17 degrees now. So that's that. Wilson, Jay Wilson, that's a new driver in that car. As Olsen picks up a drive-through for track limits. Well done. I mean, arguably it is easier to do at night because you can't see as well. You're not necessarily going to see your braking markers quite as easily. You're going to end up carrying a bit more speed into corners than you would otherwise. But yeah, that's it's still track limits. You know where they all are. You've been running around this track in race for over an hour now, for about an hour now, and an hour and 10, pretty much at this point. So you should pretty well know where they are, and also, however much practice you managed to get in before this, you should have a fairly decent idea as to where your braking markers are. The servo has been running with the times 10 on it as well, so that one. So you will have had a chance to do night practice as well, as we see Hindi in to the pits. That car's got a big tank. Possibly one of the cars more likely to make the hour and 13 that they have left. May still need a bit of help on fuel saving. Obviously, that was one of the cars that I think had penalty. We have seen a couple of the penalties get served. I believe Olsen has now. Yeah, Olsen served their drive-through. Yeah, so who's going to be the first to blink out of the leaders now? That's going to be the question. Who is the first to blink, and who manages to save fuel there? Ooh, yes, we do have all the pings back. So we'll be able to see when somebody does do something funky, as Dakawa is in with that Aston Martin. I'm going to assume they're going to fix the damage on that car, so that may be a longer stop. As we get to about 7:30, you can see the light starting to come up now on these cars. The daylight starting to break through, and we'll see the sun start to rise. It's looking possibly cloudy next hour and 3 hours respectively. It's looking a little cloudy, but you can still see the stars, so should be a reasonable, at least for us watching, it should be a fairly decent sunrise. May not necessarily be the best for the drivers, we'll see. The sun does rise and set in some pretty horrible places around this circuit. Fortunately, both of those situations may only take a lap or two to resolve themselves. So will be minimal issues for people out on track. As yeah, we're now starting to see more and more wholesale pit stops there for everybody, as we hear a whole bunch of people. That Van Niemen has opted to pit as the first of these leaders. Mondesi also in, so that puts Wilson very much into the lead. From sitting in second as the other two, but he's obviously going to be on older tyres, and low. They are going to be on low fuel, but they are going to be on somewhat older tyres than everybody else. As we see the light very quickly coming back up now for these drivers. So this will be an interesting one. Track temperature has already climbed another degree just in that short space of time, so back up to 18 degrees. This is going to be another one, is what do you do with tyre pressures when you jump out of these cars in the pits through this pit stop cycle? Tyre pressures are going to be the interesting one. Van Niemen and Mondesi are both out, but behind Bertelinger there, and who has jumped up and is catching the 333, who is still Dakawa. So that car has pitted. So yeah, that will be 28 mark. Yeah, car 28 has a 30 has 10 seconds. How have you gone? Car 28. Where is car 28 on the grid? Car 5 has penalty. Where's car 28? I can't see car 28 on the... How can I not see car 28 on a list? Ah, BRT fast. There we go. It's showing us 10 seconds on my outcome screen, but has not been added in-game evidently just yet. So yeah, coming up to an hour and 10 to go. Bertlinger has just dived for the pits. Wilson is still out now. If he's trying to go as long as possible on this to try and possibly make that gap back up from the cars behind, especially now it's getting lighter and has not increased in temperature as of yet, but will do slowly and steadily over the course of the rest of this race for about the next, in-game, about 11 hours as we have left on that. So that's going to be about 11, well yeah, hour and 10 minutes. I don't know why I sat here and failed to do that math. Oh, wonderful. Wilson has now pitted. Let's see. Van Niemann. Wilson 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 seconds stopped. Is on the move, will be on the move as we're following Van Niemann now. This is... Has Wilson just played a blinder? That's the question. No, not quite. Will come out in front of Usa, who has taken over from Mondesi. Wow, they're fast. Going to be a tough second stint. It is what it is. Both Wilson and Van Niemann had 32 second stops. Both of them have clocked 271 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. So pretty well equally matched there. Van Niemann up 3 places from where they started. Usa is down 2 places from where they started. So yeah, this is interesting. What has the gap gone to? It's 4 seconds. So that has closed up a little bit from the where they both pitted. Now that's going to be an interesting one because Wilson's obviously out on having just come out of the pits, is going to be on slightly colder tyres. Now to deal with the temperature change over the next hour and like 11 hours, 10.5 hours in game, that's going to be a big temperature shift across the datas. You see the sun just starting to get onto the grandstands there. That looks rather pretty. Actually, the advantage of this game is it does look very, very well done on the graphics side of things. As we see Wilson on the tail of the BRT, BMW gets out of the throttle, but Wilson doing everything they can to try and get as much of a toe down into the first corner as possible. What have we got going on? Dunkirk has dived into the pits, is down and away there. Has dropped behind Hicks and Darrell. I think that car is going to be going. Darrell was they're 48 minutes into a stint, so they are going to be, I'm guessing, diving for the pits, in the next kind of 10 minutes or so, for their second stop, I would guess, to make it through to the end. Unless they can, like, magic an hour's worth of fuel, that's not going to happen. They're going to have to make another stop. Dejira still holds that fastest speed trap of 278. That is just insane. Donkwalk's only managed 274, so that I think is the difference in the setups between the two cars. Donkwalk is a little bit less, a little bit more heavy, a little bit heavier. Excuse me, I will start that sentence again. A little bit heavier on the aero side of things, and a little bit more set up for cornering, whereas Dejira there is obviously a little bit more trimmed out for straight line speed. Between those two cars, given that they are there's 4 kilometers an hour between the two of them. So, as Olsen has got past the Porsche and then dives for the inside there, completely missing their braking zone. Good luck getting out of that one and not ending up going down the pit lane. You have stopped. Why have you stopped? That's not a good sign. Anybody that knows what's going on, please let us know. That's a return to garage. That's... Not sure what's happened there. That may well be a... And they've disappeared. Fantastic. Oh dear. That's a disconnect by the looks of things. Hey ho. That obviously dumps everybody up a place, so that's always a bonus. As the Soul GT4 is still plodding around, getting these Seabrook Crisp Endurance. Nice. I thought I recognised that logo. As we also see a personal best from Fusey of a 46.422. As we're up to 19 degrees now across the board for temperature. Yeah, no, this GT4 running around. Everything now carrying quite a bit of dirt and debris on the cars. It's the nature of GT endurance racing. There's a lot of crap that comes off of the ground and ends up on your car. As we see Morris, who has taken over the 5 McLaren. Why did I just spend the entire time there? Just had to pause so hard to not say Mercedes. There we go. I'm assuming these are cars that were a lap down on Olsen, and as they click through those laps, they will go up. The Wilson gap has gone out to about 5 seconds now. We'll get a better idea across the line. But yeah, it's gone out. They've gone out by about a second now from where they were when they came out the pits. So that will... We'll see how this one plays out. I think, judging on time, I think Wilson's got the most chance of getting to the end without needing a splash. But I wouldn't be past any of them to possibly end up needing a splash somewhere. If anybody's missed it by... the pace of this race has been ridiculous. 45.1 was was Wilson's last lap. 45.060 for Van Niemen, and Usa was 45.047 for the top. That's the top 3's lap time last time by. Although that's about to change, as Wilson goes 44.715 and 44.862 for Van Niemen. Wilson and Van Niemen respectively. Usa is about 18 seconds back on these two. So we shall see how they go 44.265 for their last time by. as we are now inside an hour to go. I hope everybody's been enjoying this. It's been a joy to commentate on. There will be, if anybody does want to come and have a chat, there will be interviews afterwards, providing my brain can keep going. I had the sentence there, and then it just didn't come out. Hey ho, there we go. So, yeah, there will be, as Yusa now takes fastest lap of the race, that last time by, 44.265 takes away from Wilson with who had it previously with a 44.565. So, yeah, beats by about, by 3/10 exactly, the fastest lap of the race. So we shall see if Wilson can redress the balance, and not with driving like that, you won't. I'm not 100% sure that lap's going to be legal with the track limits of use there, although has pulled about a second out on Van Niemann on that last lap. 45.252 for Van Niemann and a 44.920 for Wilson. So definitely going that car, as you see it, have a bit of an excursion. You're gonna get a track limit warning if you keep going like that, mate. You're gonna get a track limit warning there if you're not careful. So yeah, they're starting to get, as the temperature comes up. Air temperature is 20 degrees now. Track temperature is 21. So we're seeing that track temperature start to climb just a tick over ambient. That will be the state of things for the rest of the race. Is that temperature will climb. It will climb to about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon before it starts to drop back away to the end of the race at about 6 o'clock in the evening. So all of that fun stuff to come over the course of the rest of the next hour. 57 minutes and 5 seconds now. So yeah, that's a gap that is coming down. That car obviously being happier now in the warmer conditions. Van Niemann is struggling a little bit with whether that's traffic induced, as we're seeing a few cars pick up some, as we see these two picking up traffic here and there. Doesn't seem to be hampering either of them too much, although that was another 45.2 for Van Niemann versus a 44.7 for Wilson, so about half a second faster there. Bringing that gap now down to about 3.5 seconds between these two cars, so that gap is coming down. Both of them obviously do need to be a little bit mindful of their fuel loads and their tyre conditions. The couple of laps that Wilson's got, 2-3 laps or so that Wilson's got better, may well come to the fray at the end of this race. Got past the Aston back marker there of, I believe that's Fusey? What is that car? Which one was it? I wish I could. Yes, Brio. Brio? I hope I'm going to go with that, because I have no idea how to pronounce your first name, so I'm going to go with that. So that is going to be a... Yeah, so doing very well there to clear that car without really costing yourself much time. That is going to be a thing towards the end of this race now, is traffic management. Who can deal with the traffic better, and who can clear it the best without being held up too much. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. you can lose and gain massively on how well you get through this traffic. Not a huge number of cars on the track, especially for a track this long. We're on about 20, we've got 21, 22 people still running. 21 cars still in the running, out on track, so not a huge number for a track this long, but not a small number either. You're going to be finding traffic every 3 or 4 laps, I would have thought, that it's actually going to be a problem. You'll probably see it reasonably regularly, but you will be coming across it, actually having to pass it every 3 or 4 laps. Or so, as we see another, that's the GT4 both these cars are coming up against. So this is going to be blue flag, blue flag, blue flag. And that GT4 is going to have an interesting time of it, of Seabrook having to get out, having to get out of the way first for the BRT. Oh, this is playing into Wilson's hands massively. That BMW has just got held up colossally through there. The GT4 should be clear of this section, and the McLaren should clear the GT4 in a straight line on the pit straight. So that has just pulled a huge amount of time in favour of Wilson. That gap now come down to 2.7 seconds now, with them still having to clear the BRT BMW there as well. So who is actually proving to be pretty quick, and actually a little bit of a challenge to catch and pass. Obviously that GT4 will have played a part in as much as that has slowed and stalled up Van Niemann in the BMW. It will have also and put them back towards Wilson. It was also put that that BMW forward out in front of the other the BLT car ahead of the RVR car by about the same margin. Now Wilson has got to try and do their best to keep a cool head. You still have 52 minutes to go. You don't want to go cooking your tyres now, trying to chase somebody as the BRT car there getting well out of the throttle and well out of the way. Into this. This may now play badly into the hands of Wilson going through this sector, as they now have that BMW to clear. That BRT car does have a chunk of damage on the front of it by the looks of things, so not going to be quite as happy, although I think is going to get lucky and be able to clear this one in a straight line as well on the pit straight. So yeah, it's going to be another lap or so before Wilson catches this car. Hopefully it doesn't get too held up and can keep this gap down. Track air temperature is up to 22 degrees. Track temperature is now at 24, so 25. It is climbing quite quickly now as we start getting into the heat of the day. Oh, that was a big slide. Don't cook your tyres. Your left-hand sides aren't going to be liking things much because of this long right-hander. Long right-hand turn 3 and turn 4. It's an absolute pain in the butt, especially for the rear left on this car. On these cars it's gonna hurt. So you don't want to be sliding the car around, putting excess load into those tyres and excess heat as we go through this session, the end of this session. So yeah, this is, whilst it's still a 2-second or so gap, it's coming down courtesy of the traffic as that BRT car runs a bit wide over the curbs on the exit and is going to very much be playing into the hands of Wilson as they're again running a little bit wide. I mean, fast, not the most cleanest or smoothest, but it's impressive to watch. So yeah, it looks like Wilson should be okay through this section. Shouldn't get held up too much, although it looks like there might be a little bit of a hold up now. that gap has come right down. That RVR car is really struggling, as we see fast Wilson doing the same thing, just chasing every last inch of draft off that BMW. Hopefully the BMW gets out of it early enough on the brakes. Yeah, lets Wilson through. But that gap now has come right down to 1.2, 1.3, 1.2 seconds. This is still on. The question is, has that gap come down because Van Niemen's been burning too much fuel and is now having to save? But Wilson having pitted, what, 5 minutes later? Have they got enough fuel to go to the end on full rich? That's the question. As I say, Wilson was about 5 or so minutes, a good couple of laps later on their pit stop, so that will be playing into the hands, especially as this gets later into the stint, and you're really starting to manage that fuel saving. Obviously, you're going to have to manage it from the very start, but there is a big time deficit between these two cars. Last time by, it was 44.967. 44.947 for Wilson and a 45.697. So half a second, even with the back marker BMW, was half a second slower. However, User is 45.005 on that last lap. So Wilson faster than both of them, but does still have to. If they want to try and gain that extra point for fastest lap, they're going to have to really open the taps on this car towards the end of this race, as goes 45.175 versus Van Niemen's 45.262. So less of a deficit that time by, but that gap is still about a second and a half, as we see a chunk of opposite lot there from Wilson. Hello, David! So yeah, this is going some. User is holding steady at around 18-ish seconds on Wilson. So if these two catch and then have issues with traffic and battling, User's not out of this. User's definitely not out of this. Does have to keep an eye out for the Mercedes behind. It's hovering around the 7-second mark in terms of gap. Van Niemen has had a bit of an excursion somewhere. Yeah, as you see that Ferrari out there. Yeah, David, did you know that you could have turned your lights up by another stage on that Ferrari? Ooh, was that pit stop? I'm assuming that was in your pit stop, that the car just randomly wouldn't turn on, or was that actually out on track? I don't know. Please fill us in. Wilson now gets that gap down to inside of a second. Ooh, that was not good on track. That's never a good sign. Yeah, Wilson now right down, gets the car under a second into that last. Ooh, that's very strange. That's very, very strange. Hey ho, we don't have mechanical issues of punctures and what have you quite so easily in this game as you would normally. So we end up with these random electrical glitches. Yeah, random 8 seconds standing still on your outlap is not what you want. As the temperature continues to climb now as we get to 11 o'clock in the morning. In game, it is 23 and 28 for air and track. Evidently this McLaren is very much liking the hotter conditions that we're seeing now. Like I say, they've got a couple of laps in hand on their pit stop from when Van Niemann pitted, but we'll see what happens. Van Niemann still got their lights on full blast. I think so does Wilson. It's an easy thing to do, is the light comes up, you just forget that they're turned on. Doesn't really make much odds on in terms of the car as the Cower goes past. But was that? I hadn't spotted that. That is the recovering Toga Motorsport car in front of Bart de Cower. As that Porsche has a bit of a twitchy Porsche moment. But yeah, Wilson now getting right under the rear wing of, under the rear wing of the BMW, and really starting to make this. The question is that BMW driving to a fuel number to make sure they get through? And will Wilson have to make a pit stop because they're going too hard? Also, who's going to have the tyres at the end? That gap's come down. A chunk of it has been because of traffic, but that McLaren has just been getting faster and faster over the course of this sector, of this last sort of 10-15 minutes or so, as the sun's come up and the temperature has come up. So that car evidently liking these conditions. It's still due to probably drop. It's going to climb maybe in a little bit more. We may see a 30-degree track temperature. We probably will see another degree on track and possibly another degree on air temperature. A degree or two on air temperature as well for that one. So that's going to be something that will play a part in this race, as Beauvois has to pit. For whatever reason that was, I am assuming. Yes, you pitted earlier on, didn't you, to pick up to deal with some damage by the looks of things. So you weren't going to make it to the end. Your last stint was 50 minutes. Yeah, so you weren't going to make it too much longer on that one. So you got another 42 to go on that one in terms of stint time. 38-second stop there, so possibly a few seconds of damage, possibly just a few seconds getting the car settled and ready to go. Yeah, I never did. Manch never did a 10 multiplier, wondering how you do with tyres. Usually split the stints, have one night with higher pressures and one with lower pressures for the day. Yeah, that makes sense. You'll run as long as you can with it. Yeah, so it's always worth, when you jump into the race server, keeping an eye on when the race start is. As we see Wilson, you can see that issue there. It's that half second, inside a half a second with McLaren behind the big BMW there, just starts to become an issue to get past, because you start getting into the wash of that BMW. It's a big car in comparison, so it punches a big hole in the air, and you see that McLaren just wandering around a little bit. Though can hold it tighter on the exit of turn 3 there. It's able to run a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker through there. Makes up some of the time. Good on the brakes down into turn 4 and up out of there. So that gap has come back down, as we see. We've got two Wilsons. We have Remy and Wilson are battling away here. So that is the Bentley against the McLaren. Big Bentley got tons of grunt, had a big tow from the McLaren It's going to go squeeze towards the outside. Who's got the brakes? Who's the bravest on the brakes down into turn 1? All good, nicely done. Just holds off the McLaren there. Runs up the inside, holds it on the apex, parks it there, stops them getting through, and is away and clear. Nicely done. Wilson getting really, really tight up under the back wing of the BMW here. Really, really close. This is gonna be a big tow for that car down the straight. This is gonna potentially come into a late braking contest. Who's got the grunt in a straight line? Yeah, that was very nicely done. Who's got the grunt in a straight line to make this one work? Not quite that. McLaren can stay in touch in a straight line with that BMW, but that's about it with the tow. It's quick down the straights, but this McLaren is a lot quicker. We can see that through the corners. The BMW very much having to go defensive. McLaren hunting around for all the draft they can get, all the slipstream, to try and make any kind of move stick. As soon as that BMW gets on the power, it's just gone. McLaren goes deep on the brakes there, trying to clear. BMW gets wide on the exit, evens the gap, time loss up there. Possibly goes the way of the BMW just by a little bit, but that McLaren super fast through that switchback. It's going to take a heck of a lot of brave pills to get through that one going too wide. Wilson thinks better of it there. As they're on the run down. Oh yeah, you see just how much straight line speed the BMW's got. They're pretty even on the brakes. It's just how much more corner speed the McLaren can get. Oh, that was a big jump across the curb there on the kink after the hairpin through into this last little twiddly bit. The McLaren very, very good through these tight, twisty sections. Now we have a whole pile of cars coming up here now. So we have the GT4 and the GT2 that these two cars are going to have to clear. So this is going to be an interesting one. The GT2 will probably clear the GT4 in a straight line. Yep, not a problem. So that's going to mean that that's one less car initially that they're going to have to worry about. But that GT4 is going to have to get out of the way of these two cars at some point. But it is standard GT rules. It's more down to the cars who are lapping than the cars being lapped to get out of the way, although that GT4 opts just to get out of the or hold in tight and let these two through. So nicely done there. No time lost for either of those cars. It's now going to be what the what Donkerwalk in that that Mercedes can do to let these pass. This is going to be a much more interesting one. Van Niemann knows they have to get past, absolutely sends it out the inside. Donkerwalk had nowhere to go but get out of the way on that one as Wilson follows through. So both of those cars through that back marker traffic without any real delay. There is another one coming up in front. I'm not sure which car that is. On track, I'm sure we will see it at some point. And if you can see the livery, I've got half a chance of seeing which car it is. But that gap comes out a little bit. That is the Sky McLaren, so I'm guessing that is Darrell, car 50? Yes, it is. Oh, hey, we're starting to learn. Yeah, you can really see just how fast that McLaren is through these twisties on the tail of the BMW, but then as soon as the track opens up, gets on the gas, and the McLaren, all it can do with all the tow in the world, can only just about hang on. Oh, this is frustrating. Shows the nose into turn 1. Now they're really starting to close up on the that car, that 50 McLaren in front, who is going to go another lap down to these two. Both of them are giving it everything. Van Niemann on the exit of turn 3 there, just trying to break the toe as... Ooh, Darrell has a spin in the front of them and collects the BMW. That was Oh, both. Let's have a replay of that. That was fantastic driving for both of them. Daryl gets on the grass, gets a bit of a wiggle on, gets on the grass, and then the two cars just split. It's 50-50. That car's spinning across the track and it's 50-50 which way you go. Unfortunately, it was the BMW that got collected in that. Neither of them could have really done anything different to what they did. They both decided to split and run the gauntlet on both sides. And it was the BMW that came off worst in that one. It is now 10 seconds back. Make that 11 seconds back on Wilson now. So Wilson, this is now Wilson's to lose. Let's see what happens, but that has put Yusa now 7.5 seconds behind Van Niemann. So if you might want to, David, you might want to go give your teammate a bit of a hurry up. With 30, just under 34 minutes to go, 33 minutes and 53 seconds to go. That gap is not insurmountable. Especially as it looked like that BMW was starting to struggle with its struggle a little bit in these conditions. Actually, its last time by it was quite slow, as was everybody's. They've really started to drop the time back. Yeah, fastest lap was 44.265. That was Yusa after you had got out of the car. For some reason the car is terrible for some reason, but we'll try till the end. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully won't be anything major on that BMW. I will just go and have a quick look to see if you can see anything. Bit of a scuff on the back, hopefully no suspension damage. I think it caught the front of that wheel arch rather than into the wheel. So less likely to be any major suspension damage on that car. It's certainly not driving like it's got any major suspension damage. So I think it's probably just it went wrong, went the wrong side, that's racing. You get that. It's a 50-50 chance as to which way you go. Just be thankful this wasn't the last round at the Nordschleife, because that would have literally blocked the track. Yes, that is, spoiler, that is where the last round is, if I remember that correctly. I will just go and double check that, because I know what my brain is like. No, sorry, the last round. Oh no, I'm thinking of another series. One of the other series, might be the sprint series that's at Nords then. Either way, round 6, sorry, is at Kyalami. I mean, Donington, that would have not been a great place to end up, although that has 4 miles of grass to have an accident into. I hope I haven't given Hayden some ideas for another series of this, of doing 24 and 2.4 at the Nords. Mind you, you're going to go through sunset and sunrise in less than a lap. That'll be an interesting one. I said the track temperature and everything was going to go up. 24 air temperature, 32 track temperature now. So anybody that's got a bit too much tyre pressures, now it's going to be go time as you. So I think you've well done, Davide. You've given them the hurry up, and they're 6.5. That gap's come down to 6.5 seconds. 45.530 last time by against a 46.280. So that BMW might not be as happy as it looks. That might have been more of a clout on the wheel than it looked. So that car struggling possibly more than the damage on the outside would show. Also, if your tyres are starting to scream at you because you got your tyre pressure's wrong because it was significantly cooler. What would it be? I think it was actually heading towards nearly 20 degrees cooler when they came out of the pits than where it is now. It was a good 15 at least from where it is now. It was about 17, I think it was, across the board when they came out of the pits, and it's now 24 and 32 respectively for air and track. So if this RVR car has got its tyre pressures a little bit too wrong, yeah, they're going to be screaming at you. They're going to be high by this point. So yeah. Whew. That's, I'm also wondering if Van Niemann is now just starting to overdrive the car in a little bit of frustration. They've seen a little bit of red mist, they've had an accident, and they're just starting to struggle a little bit and overdrive the car. We're seeing a lot more track use than we were earlier on with that car. A lot more runoff area being taken, a lot more curb being taken, and the car being a little bit looser. So I'm wondering if they're just in a little bit of frustration, a little bit of heat at the moment. They've got a touch frustrated, and they're not. They just need to back it off, getting back into that rhythm, and then give it and then start to bring the fight back to Wilson. As that gap comes down to 6 or so seconds. We'll see what it is across the line for both of them. Because that is a bit of a gap as they come up on Dejira, I believe it is, in the GT2. Yes, it is. Who is going to go another lap down. That's 61 laps. 61 laps in the books for Dejira. 65 laps in the books for Van Niemann and Wilson up at the front there. Where's the first car that's going to be off the lead lap? 10th. They have... Okay, the top 10. So 9th is the last car on the lead lap. Fass is 17 seconds behind the leader. But Weissman's in the BRT Aston is 42 seconds behind the leader. So that gives you an idea as to how fast the pace of this race has been. Now, given that that's the case and how fast these cars have been running, yeah, that 45.190 versus 45.610 for Van Niemann versus USA. It's going the way of USA in that VM Tech car now. Although it looks like Wilson has just backed it off a touch. 46.042 for Wilson on last time by there. So yeah, that's a tricky one. Obviously, everybody's going to be trying to push to catch up now. 10-11 seconds or so is going to be one. Yeah, so you see Wilson in the back of shot there going past. Was that? That was Dobson, and they made that second. Yeah, it looks like they made their second pit stop, and they were in the pits for 40 seconds. That would be why they've just dropped another lap to the leaders there. But yeah, that was Wilson in the back of shot with the BRT car up the road. So that's not going to be very long before 9th has been lapped. And then it's only about 10 seconds up the road for 8th as well. So I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say we might see 5th being lapped before the end of this race. In 25 minutes, it's about 40 seconds. 45 seconds from where they are at the moment to where they will be to 5th. So that will be the interesting one there. But also, it just shows how fast the pace of this race has been for these top crews and top drivers. They have been giving it everything. Also, those two cars are very similar in colour. The BRT cars and that JP, the black and gold looks very similar. I don't know if you have anybody on your roster, but that runs a McLaren. But that might be an interesting place to start for a livery. So we're down inside 25 minutes to go. Somebody's got open fire going. What else have we got? Yeah, we've got. It's just strung out. It's the kind of standard end sort of last bit, half an hour or so of one of these longer races. Is the gaps just start to string out a little bit. I might revise my. Yeah, 10 seconds might. Possibly 6th then. Might make 5th, might make 6th. I'm just looking at how quick Wilson has been catching the that BRT of Weissman's in Weissman's there. Not quite as quick as I was expecting. You see a lick of flame out the back of that McLaren on the downshift into this twiddly little section here. That car still looks pretty dang good through the corners. I think this is, yeah, as we see the track temperature starting to drop away a little bit now as we get to 2:45 in the afternoon. So that is the track temperature, the air temperature is still 24, but the track temperature has dropped down to 31 now, whereas it was up at about 34 a little while ago. So yeah, those that were running a little bit less in the way of tyre pressures will, a little bit more in the way of tyre pressures, will be thanking their lucky stars that the temperature is starting to come down. I don't think it's going to come down much between now and 6 o'clock, as we see Weissman's getting out of the way for Wilson's there, and Wilson's getting kind of clear. First they need to go a little defensive into turn 5 there, through the kink of 6 and into the switchback of 7 and 8. Yeah, well clear there now. So that puts 9th now a lap down. 8th is 138 back behind. And they were about almost 1 minute 50 essentially back from the leaders. Wilson's last time by was 45.640. Van Niemen 45.605. Usa 45.502. So still bringing that gap down. That gap to Wilson and Van Niemen has come down a little bit. It's now 9.5 seconds or so. 129. Gabriel. 129 for the win. It's a tall order, but it's not impossible. They're about 15 seconds off the lead at the moment. It's not impossible. You get some bad traffic, and 15 seconds can disappear pretty quickly. Fortunately, there's not. Again, only having 21 cars on track does mean there is quite a bit of space between each of the cars. So you don't get these big gaggles of cars that you might have seen at other races when there's more cars on track. So it does make getting. It does mean when you only pick up 1, maybe 2 cars at a time, rather than picking up chains of say 4 or 5 that you've got to try and get past in one go. So yeah, 129's been going well. Didn't have the best of starts. Got a little bit mugged at the start, but you've held on to it, so very well done. Especially as others have faltered. As other cars have faltered a little bit towards the end of the race. So, yeah, very well done to everybody so far. This has been interesting as we see the Seabrook GT4 being caught by Wilson. Just hops up over the curb, up the inside, nicely done, and away and gone. Very well done from both cars there, keeping it out of the way of each other. Anybody interested in doing some longer form races, we do have a endurance series on SimGrid coming up. The first round for Silverstone is on the 29th. I believe, is it the 29th this month? I believe it is the 29th this month. Give us a second, I will just have a quick check on SimGrid. I have managed to remember to keep it open this time, rather than having to close it down. First round, 6 hours of Silverstone. Yes, it's on the 29th. The server goes live at 12:30. Keep an eye on the Discord. Apparently it starts at, I think that's race starts at 12:30. It's a 6-hour race, so anybody that does like these longer form races, do come and join in. They are a lot of fun. If you've got if you want to and you're completely barking mad, feel free to do it solo. 6 hours on your own is not going to be the easiest of things, especially not in this machinery. Let's pull this up, see what categories. It is GT3s only, and there is a prize pool open for that one as well. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. That one is looking, actually, I say that, it's coming up, but it is currently marked as full, unfortunately. But the 10 hours of Suzuka, which is the next one after that, on the 27th of July, is does still have spaces, as do the others. We also have 24 hours of Nordschleife coming up on the 3rd of August. So yeah, we've got a few longer form races, so those that want to come and do this, get a crew of you together, a bunch of your mates that like racing, come and have a go, it's great fun. So an actual full 24 hours at probably one of the toughest tracks out there. I mean, I'd love to do 24 hours of Bathurst or something, because, yeah, that's a track with no margin for error, ever, anywhere. There is also, for those who are a little bit more tentative and not quite as quick as these drivers, we also have our Rookies series starting on the 3rd of July as well. Rookie Season 9, when Rookie Wednesdays are back. It is a single split, but that is split into 2 groups, so everything is on there, but basically if you're 104 or slower, 104% slower, which is, then you can jump into the rookies class. If you are faster than 104%, in the 103 to 104% range, then there is an AM category that you can enter as well. That looks to be filling up reasonably quickly. That was only announced relatively recently, so go have a look on our SimGrid for all of that, and if I can, I will chuck a link in chat. I don't know if I will be able to. If any of the admin are able to, if this doesn't work, if any of the admin are able to. Yes, follow that link. That is our SimGrid page. If there's any other races that you see, there is still spaces for this series. There are some cracking circuits coming up in this series still. So our next round is going to be at Donington. That's going to be a fun one. Red Bull Ring and Kailami are the next 3 rounds after this. So if you do fancy it, there are still spaces open for this accelerated time endurance racing. So again, everything's all on our SimGrid. It's all in the link there for you. Yeah, come join in. It's good fun. Pretty decent bunch of people here. We're all generally here. We're all racers. Everybody in the team, be it stewards, be it comms, be it mods. We're all racers. We all do this for fun, and we just all want to have fun ourselves. So. Come join in. As I say, we are also now gold partners, so keep an eye out on particularly some of these longer form races. There may be giveaways and bits and pieces that we can do. There may also be some extra one-off events that we can run that gain us that we can run that alongside other communities and bits and pieces. So do keep an eye on all of that and come join our Discord as well. Everything's all there. any progress places. So yeah, come join. It's fun, and yeah, you young, old, fast, slow, doesn't matter. Come join in. The more the merrier. As that is the other Cargins RVR car that our leader is now catching up to. Similarly, do hit that like button. You like it. Similarly, subscribe. It's fun. It makes everything. It helps. Honestly, it does genuinely help keep the lights on. At Toga, it helps keep the servers running. It helps keep all of this fantastic racing going on for you lot. This is all done voluntarily. Yes, I am mad enough to do this voluntarily for 2 hours. What's this? It will be nearly 3 hours by the time we've finished tonight. Possibly a little bit more. Entirely voluntarily on my own. Because I just like racing. And chatting to you lot. So, do come... it all comes out. Hayden, who's the owner, basically pays for everything. And then whatever we get out of paid series or anything else, all goes back into the Toga pot. So yeah, it literally just helps keep the lights on, helps keep the servers running, helps keep us doing this fun stuff, keeps us in something to do on a Friday evening. So where did race control go? There it is. How are we doing? Wilson has picked up the pace a little bit. 45.345 last time by, and Van Niemen was 45.532. Fastest overall of the top three, Usa with 45.442 last time by. They also still hold the fastest lap currently. And they are just working the end of lap 73, just about to start lap 74. So yeah, that's 8th, about to go a lap down. 47-ish seconds. Yeah, definitely gonna get. Should get 7th, although they're 20-minute 24. Okay, maybe not going quite as quick as they did at the start of this race. So Cargins is possibly just warding off. That's a bit tighter than. That's a bit more racy than would really be ideal. But like I say, it is still the lapping car's prerogative to keep out the way of the car being lapped. But there is also the general courtesy of don't hold them up too much and don't try and race them too much. I understand that you don't want to go a lap down, but honestly, you've been flying all race. I mean, you're still putting in, what, 47.9s? That is still a respectable time. I'm not sure if we were racing in this one, we'd still be able to put down a 47, anything into the 47s at this point if we'd been doing this. You've been running for 2 hours 14 minutes now on your own, and yeah, I think there might be some of the fatigue starting to show there. Ooh, okay, that's throwing a cat amongst the pigeons. Bertalinger, who's jumped out of 4th place, has had to dive to the pits for, I'm assuming, is a service. When they pitted earlier, 57 minutes. I thought that was going to be a little bit tight on fuel when they pitted earlier. Whether they were going to make that or not, and it doesn't look like they have been able to. You've been stopped now for 45 seconds. 48, 49, 50. Ooh, this is not good. This does not look good. You have now been stopped for a minute. That's not good. Oh, so they are. I did not spot that. I just saw them on the timing screens. I had not looked at this corner of the screens. Did not see what that was. retaliatory contact, apparently. Didn't see what that was, but the stewards obviously did. That is something, yeah, that is how harsh the stewards are. We very much do hold the driving standards to the highest degrees. Wilson gets a full-on wiggle on going out of that corner. So yeah, if you go and intentionally knock somebody about, you're gonna get the book thrown at you for it. No, Ange, it was a DSQ. If you have a look at the screen, there is a big DSQ next to their name on the bottom of the timing sheets now. They will slowly trickle down the timing charts as they spend more time in the pit there. I hadn't spotted that, because obviously they suddenly dropped to the bottom of the timing sheets. I was looking not in the right place. So, yeah, fair enough. So that puts another car a lap down who is further down anyway. As, yeah, they're just going to tumble down through the order now. Obviously, they've gone to the bottom of the timing sheets on screen and probably will be there as is. So, yeah. Car 2 on car 13. Whichever car 13 was. Tajira, one of the GT2s. Fair enough. I think there might be GT3 getting frustrated at GT2 not getting out of the way. Would be my guess as to how that started. Don't go and punt each other off the road. I know it's a computer game, I know it's the internet, and it feels very anonymous, but it's just mean as Morris picks up a drive-through for, I'm assuming, track limits. Very well done there. We've said this, just don't. Just keep it between the lines. Yeah, just keep it between the lines. It keeps everything happy. It means you have to visit the pit lane last, and it means you keep more places. That's the trick with endurance racing, is stay out of the pits. Don't pit more than you have to, and don't get spotted by the stewards more than you have to. These are the two main things you want to do. As we see the GT4 having a bit of a wiggle and going straight on across the middle of turn 2 there. Very nicely done. So yeah. So yeah, Morris, you probably will have to serve that before the end of the race. Drive-throughs are a 30-second penalty. So where are you? Car 15. Where are you on the track? No, car 5. Oh my god, I'm being... oh, that's that one, isn't it? That's the pink, orange and white car. It's a fantastic colour, by the way. As Hicks gets past Donkerwalk for on-track position. That is GT3 Mercedes going past GT2 Mercedes for track position. Donkerwalk still well out ahead of the the fellow GT2, if Dejera, who's down in 20th. As it has now got dark here as well. As we come down into the last 5-6 minutes of the race. This one's still not entirely over. Well, no, that's... yeah, no, fair enough. Who is that behind as Morris piles into the pits to serve their drive-through? As you see the two RVR cars getting a fantastic shot there, running line astern across the start-finish line. That was... where is the... that would have been either Bobar or Cargins. Cargins there getting lapped by their own teammate. Down in 7th. Bobar is... I don't think Bobar's going to get caught now with 5 minutes to go. Okay, fair enough. That's still downright impressive for the top, for the leader there. that gap's come down. The laps are strung out. The gaps have stabilised a little bit. Wilson is 8.5 seconds ahead of Van Niemen, and Van Niemen is about 8 seconds ahead of Usa there. So nothing really came of that too much. It looks like that car number 2 has disconnected now. So that's fine. Yeah, it's Dunkirk hasn't really had. There was, which car was that? That's a McLaren that's gone past. That is, no, it's not O'Reilly. Which one of the McLarens is it? Is that what? It's the other. That's the Wilson car that I think might have just held up everything. Yeah, indeed, good race. Yeah, decided to take it easy. Yeah, don't blame you. Just bring the car home at this point. You're into the last few minutes. Don't stick it in a barrier now. This is just, I think that's the case for everybody. Is they've just backed. I'd say they've backed off. Van Niemen has. Wilson has not. Last time by was 45.395. I think somebody might still be going to be maybe trying to get fastest lap at the end of this. But yeah. Oh, I say that. Which one's that? That's an Aston Martin. Oh, that's the Decower car, isn't it? 12. May go a lap down before the end of the race. So we're going to have this one and probably 2 more laps. What are we? We're 140 odd, 145. No, probably be this. Yeah, this one and one more. As Dunkirk there just piling out of the way. As Remy has to bail for the pits for a splash of fuel at the end of that. That's a shame. How long are you stopped for? 20... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... 12 seconds of fuel. Oof. That was... I'm not sure you'd have needed that much fuel to get to the end, but it's better than having to run through the pits again. That's a shame. Dropped down to 6th now after that splash and dash, and has Cargins for... Is that Cargins for company? Yeah, it is. About 8 seconds back, so that should be okay as a gap, as long as that Bentley's been giving it some, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal to get clear to hold that one. That's a shame. That's a real shame. Hey ho, it happens. Yeah, that does also mean 6th has now gone a lap down, and it is Bobart in 5th that is being chased, but is 1:38 back, so that's not going to happen. I didn't hear the call for last lap of the race, so I'm guessing that is not going to be the case. With 1:02 to go, crossing the line. Okay, I was right first time round. There will probably be, unless... No, Wilson can't slow down enough. With a 9-second gap, yeah, that's not going to happen if you slow down to try and clear the last of the time and not have to do another lap. Hopefully, you have the fuel for it. It has gone past the pits, so evidently feels like they have. Going that extra couple of laps has made the difference. As we cross the line with 28-29 seconds to go. So this is the last lap of the race as we see the Porsche, which one's that one? I can't entirely see. It's one of the... Who's only the Porsche? The 888 one, isn't it? Yes, 888 Porsche there getting out of the way. And De Gera there in the GT2 McLaren. Mercedes, there we go. As Dekawa has... Oh, Dekawa, evidently that extra lap has not worked out for yourself. Having said that, you, that looks a bit more serious. That looks possibly more like an RTG, because I thought you were clear of the pit lane. Because we saw you going into... Oh no. 32 seconds. Ooh. Puncture? I don't know. Anybody from BRT want to... Oh, no. Anybody from Toga? No, don't... Oh, no, that's gonna have caught the eyes of the stewards. Oh dear. You were told about this in the briefing, of keep all four wheels inside the white line or treat it as a brick wall when you come out of the pits. Don't just pile across there, because you don't necessarily know whether there is another car coming up. There we go. Wilson has taken the win there. Very well done to you. Very well done indeed. Enjoy some celebratory donuts. As Van Niemen comes home in second, you sit in third. Wilson is due to come home in fourth. Still a fairly long way off the end of the lap, actually. That was... Yeah, you don't realise how far back they had managed to go. Anderson... Trying to find whoever it is. We are simple sim racers, we're not happy till we win. Yes, thank you very much for that one. Davide, good race everybody from Barbecue Possum. Yeah, it's a shame to see it end like that, but sometimes it just happens. It is racing at the end of the day. We are all only human. We are only human squishy flesh bags. As we see Doncork be the last car across the line. Squishy flesh bags of human beings, we are not infallible. So occasionally we make the end. We make mistakes. There's OBS. Yeah, if anybody did want to come and have a chat, when you are feeling alive enough to, feel free to do so. And yeah, just want to say a massive well done to everybody who managed to get through that one. So, yeah. Very well done to all involved, and yeah, if anybody is up for a chat, by all means, feel free to. We have Morris. You two are of the car number 5. Bear with us just a second. My computer. I've just closed ACC, and my computer's turning a whole bunch of stuff back on because it's a wonderful piece of technology. There we go. Right, let's drag you to Scott and Ben in as you were here first. Hello, and welcome to the comms box.
We're back after 2 weeks.
Oh, wonderful. I have to say, your livery on your car is fantastic. It looks brilliant.
Thank you! Yes!
See,
Someone's
Scott,
complimented it! Yes!
I told you.
Oh, I love it. Put hard, what am I trying to say?
Work.
Put lots of time in it, I didn't. I put very little time into it, actually. I have to learn how to do 3D texturing though to do it because I
Oof.
don't like doing it on 2D. But yeah, anyway.
Fair enough. How was that race for yourselves?
It wasn't too bad, except from the start where we got a 30-second penalty, where I might have crashed a lot of people out and got a bit of a penalty for it. And I'm very sorry to anyone who I did crash out, and it was all my fault for breaking on the bloody grass and then sliding.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 10 seconds for causing collision with 991. Sorry, 20 seconds for causing collision with 991. And then you got
second
another
one, I think, is a bit
10
dodgy.
seconds for causing collision with car 27.
Well, the issue with that one was I had gone deep at the hairpin, came back on track, and he kind of slid in front of me, and I must have just tapped the back of him ever so slightly, and it unsettled his car. I got 10 seconds for it. And he ended up flying away, and I can't even remember where he finished, but he was miles ahead of me. But yeah, managed to do a decent stint through the night, and then somehow one-stopped it with the tyres nearly dying on me as well. But yeah, sorry.
It happens. It's surprisingly easily done. To make these mistakes. David, say we're gonna have to give those two the best attitude / funniest guys in the championship. So there you go.
Yes, come on. Yeah,
There you go.
it was a good one. Well, on to Donington next week, I believe, right?
It is Donington next week.
Fantastic. Ben, you hate that circuit.
Yeah,
I don't mind it, but I'm sure we'll be back. Maybe the progression will continue, and we'll get 14th
I
next
know.
week instead of
I know.
15th. Which should be fantastic.
Keeping our words.
Keeping our word. Got to progress every weekend. But yeah, if only we can do the qualifying part of the race.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Well, apart from the penalties, how was it running through the night with that one?
I'll consider we finally got to run through the night. It was terrifying because I can't see the track anymore. Pretty much. Braking points were a bit dodgy, and I kept going deep because I forgot, colder tires, colder temperatures. I'm not braking. I can't brake as much because I've not got any heat. So
Yeah.
but I worked it out and then ended up putting a decent stint, I believe. I mean, Ben, what do you think? What did you think about my stint?
You put apart from the walk rounds that happened in the first 5 or so laps, you did put in a decent stint. You got us up to what was it? I think it was 12th before we pitted.
I think it was 11th we got up to enemy pits, yeah.
Yeah, then we came out 17th, and
Yeah.
just got us up to 15th in the end, which was good.
Very well done.
Good stuff.
Very well done indeed. So, yeah, nice one. Well done for finishing. There was a few cars that
Thank you.
didn't manage to make it all the way through.
There was
So,
a disqualification as well. What happened there?
that was retaliatory contact is what I have down on the sheet here.
Ah, I see.
So, yeah, the stewards don't take kindly to
that's a bit
nerfing
of
each
a
other.
dodgy one, like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise to see on that. I just suddenly saw them disappear back to the
Yeah.
pits, and I was like, oh, what happened there?
Hold on, Ben. We've got up to 15th. How's this happened? Oh, someone's been disqualified randomly. Oh, that's good for us.
Yeah.
It's our first actual points that aren't 1 point. We
Hey,
got 4 points
you got
for
into the
that one.
points. That's always a win.
Yes, come on, that's what we like to see. So
I mean-
I'm happy with that.
If it's the only point you score, you're still going to score more points than somebody that doesn't score any.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
Wonderful. Well, there is Davida and Yusa waiting, so unfortunately, as
Of
lovely as it
course.
is to chat to you two, we're going to go and catch up with those two next.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much
I
for
don't know
having
whether
us.
it will be
Thank you
myself that will be on comms next week, but I'm sure there will be somebody. So best of luck if it's not us watching what's going on, and enjoy Donington.
Thank you very
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Right. Davide and Yusa, you came third. Good evening, you two.
Good evening, Zita.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, good evening.
Not too bad yourselves.
Yeah, could have been better with a better result, but we've done all we could.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hungry. I'm hungry.
I mean, to start with, you finished on the lead lap, which is better than I think about everybody back to 6th, 7th managed.
Yeah, the pit stop, I think that was the issue there, because we got a very slow pit stop for my fault. And even if we came into the pits like 1 second behind the P2 guy, Wilson, I think it was at that point,
Yeah.
we ended up exiting the pits way behind them, and we have had the technical issue of the engine turning off for no particular reason at all, which is
Yeah,
strange.
that was my fault. I pushed the engine button. I don't know.
It happens.
I cannot explain that.
It happens. Occasionally you just knock a button, flicking the car out of the pit box. Occasionally you knock a button. We've done it before, and you're just like, why is the car shut down on me completely? And it takes forever to refire. So, hey ho. It is what it is. You did, as I say, you did extremely well to, as I say, I think you came home in third in the end, which is still not a bad result at all.
No, that's a great result, but it's always disappointing when you can do better, and the pace was there. We have suffered a lot of bad luck, and we've done mistakes, the both of us. But I mean, the timing screen was talking clearly. There was, I think, almost no phase of the race where we lost time from the leading guys. We've been gaining for almost the whole race, but yeah, there's been those issues which we're not here to complain, but we always want to analyze everything and say, okay, we reckon we have had issues, and that's fine. We're still grateful for the result, which is P3, it's championship points, whatever. But in every competitive mind, if you could have done a little better, even 1/10 better, it will be in your mind for at least the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Very, very much know that one. When you know you can do better, it gets frustrating that you just can't quite make it. But yeah, very well done. You do know that you were running with your lights. I don't know if it was not showing on our end, but it looked like your lights were a click down over the night. I don't know if that played into things or not, or whether that's just a personal preference, but compared to the other Ferraris, you had about 4 lights not running on the front of your car.
I think I didn't turn on the rain lights.
I saw that. I don't even.
Yeah, he told me that, but the only thing is that the game told me to get the lights on, not the rain lights, just the regular ones.
Yeah.
I did that, and I turned off. No, I didn't turn off anything, but I just turned on only that ones.
Yeah, there's a couple of there's 2 different modes. You've got low, which you were running in, and then there's high, which gives you a whole bunch more lights.
Okay.
So but that may have helped during the night. I don't know. You were doing you were keeping pace with everybody overnight, so it evidently wasn't actually much of an issue. So
no, I could see everything clearly, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Just the pressures were way under the ideal window. I can tell you that going out with 2 psi lower than the expected is a nightmare. You have to get used to it, but still, yeah.
Go have some fun in GT4s or GT2s. They have no tyre warmers. You go out with like 22 psi in the tyres.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the temperature drop swung to some degree to be expected, quite a lot over the course of that one. I think I saw 34 on the clocks at one point for track temperature, and about 24, 25 for air. So,
the thing is, this was told me by Alberto too, that we practice for night and day stints. We have different pressures in our strategy. We know who is gonna do which part, and the other races started at 10 a.m. So the first stint is the one in the day, and that's what we practice for. Also in the practice server, we've had a lot of rain, so we've had a completely different strategy, and then we realized when it was too late that the pressures were not okay, because we were starting the race at 6 p.m., which is completely different from the other times, and we did not expect that at all. And that messed up, I think, quite a lot. But yeah, we take it as it is, as always, and that next time we'll check.
We'll try again next time there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, very well done on third. Shame it couldn't be more, but like you say, you'll go through, and I know you lot will go through and analyze every last millimeter of data, and go from there. So very well done. And how are you looking forward to Donington next week?
Good question. I hope this will go better than this one, but yeah, I'm not as consistent as I am in this track there.
That's fair. It's not a track that's used very often. It's going to be an interesting one. It's quite narrow. It's quite a tricky track. So, yeah, picking up back markers and what have you at night is going to be the interesting bit.
Yeah. How are you, Alberto, in Donington?
I never raced in Donington,
Nice.
but there's no problem.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like you two have quite the debrief to go through, and quite the recovery from that one. So, yeah, I think we will call it out. It's been lovely chatting to you two. I hope that you have enjoyed it, even though it didn't go quite as to plan.
We definitely did. And also thank you to all the guys in the chat that were cheering for us. I saw, I think, Alberto's friend there, and also guys from the community.
Yep. Yeah, everybody
was.
Everybody's been cheering everybody on in chat, so that's always lovely.
Yeah.
So yes, enjoy your prep for Donington for next week, and enjoy the rest of your week. And was there anything else you wanted to add?
I think I'm good. Okay, no more. Okay.
Me too.
Fair enough. Then we shall bid you a good night and enjoy.
You too. You too. Bye,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Zita. See you.
See you. Bye. Whew. Well, that was that. That was the 2.4 at Barcelona. So, very well done to everybody that competed, and very well done to everybody that finished. Those races are not an easy one to finish in the first place, so very well done. We shall see you. You'll see one of us next week for You'll see one of us next week for Donington. I'm sure that will be on commentary, and we shall bid everybody a very good night, and I hope everybody has enjoyed the commentary and enjoyed everything that's been going on. It's been lovely to chat with all of you in chat, and we shall catch up and see you someone. Thank you and good night.